Welcome to NerdJab number 4. Thank you for joining us this week. Just a couple of things to cover before we get into this episode. This one's a weird one. It is NerdJab Live. It's the first time that we've done this since we did the live streams before launch. It was broadcast on Facebook Live. So a couple things about it. One, you're not going to hear any ads during the show. I was lucky to even get this intro on here. The episode is so long that we weren't able to cut in ads. So you're going to hear the breaks. They're just going to go from where we stopped right back into where we started again. So we're going to save you some time as much as we can. The other thing is this show is more meant to be watched than it is to be listened to. So if you're wanting to see the video, it is still up on our Facebook page. You can go there. That adds a little bit of context to what we're talking about. So, there you go. That's what to expect from this week's episode. Next time we do this, it will be a lot smoother. I promise you. If you would like to sponsor us, once again, we are looking for sponsors. We are looking to do the show a little bit easier and a little bit more efficient. The way we can do that is by having sponsors. If you would like to do that, you can go to nerdjab.com and look at the information there, or you can contact me directly. Just send an email to joe@nerdjab.com and put NerdJab sponsorship in the subject line, and I'll get right back to you. So without further ado, here's this week's episode. Enjoy. Hello, everybody. Oh, it's playing.
We're not ready.
We never are. Welcome to NerdJab Live. We are here. Let me put Spence back on real quick.
Spence, where you at?
I held the call, so.
Play the call.
Resume call. Spence can hear us.
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. We can hear you too. Both versions.
Welcome. This is the first live show we've done since we launched the show.
Yeah,
we
it's
are
pretty
here.
exciting.
And we were. I was running up until we.
Literally.
Oh, dude, it was nuts there for a minute.
Some technical difficulties we
Yo,
were working through.
Good God, it was crazy. We thought we were going to have to go audio only on this. Luckily, we got the video working and everything's fine. So here we are. Live in living color.
Hey.
So just a couple of housekeeping things. We're doing this. We're going to try to do this, I would say probably about once a month.
Yeah.
And I actually have, I am going to announce here in a little bit our next live show, when it is and what it's going to be. It's actually a very, very important thing to me. So me and Brandon have kind of talked about it, and
it's a surprise to me.
Mings and Spence are in the dark, so sorry guys. That happens. Hey, guess what?
What?
I'm not recording the show right now.
We can download the video from Facebook.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah.
again, we ain't ready. I always forget to do
Still
something.
not ready.
Okay, we're recording now.
My shirt fits so well today.
Yeah, he's wearing. I didn't put on my freaking shirt. I'm gonna have to go upstairs. You know what? I'll do it whenever we take our first break.
Okay.
As far as the length of the show, I don't know exactly how long this is going to be. We are definitely going to be off by at least 9 p.m. so that everybody can watch Game of Thrones. So you can go from us to your boobies and murder. So
Yeah.
half Justin's face is all white. Yes,
I mean, all of Justin's face is white.
Yeah,
So,
it's very white.
he might be the whitest guy I know.
hold on.
It's just the sun shining in.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this after the if you listen to this after the fact on the podcast, we know it's rough. Typically, I can edit this, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to be editing any of this
That's
because this is going to be an easy week to cut.
Oh yeah. Download.
Very easy.
Insert. Boom.
Yeah, I don't have a break graphic built. I knew I was forgetting something.
Yeah. We can do the shirt winner during the break.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll start out the normal way. How was everybody's week?
Great.
Pretty
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you had a really good week.
I did have a good week.
Yeah, you did.
Do you
I'm jealous.
Do you want to bust it out?
Oh, yeah, I just bought a new car.
Woo!
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
No more.
Stole that fucker, too.
No
Yeah,
more.
you did.
No more G6. Woo!
Yeah, no more G6.
Do you want to tell everybody what we did yesterday, Brandon?
We went and watched the 89 Batman,
Yes, we did.
and we became friends.
Yeah. It only took 20 years.
It only took 20 years.
Merely acquaintances before this.
Yeah, actually, kind of. So, funny story. I'd never watched Batman 89 before.
Wow, that's amazing that you
wow.
hadn't seen something.
I know. It seems like a trend, right?
I actually
Yeah.
told him, I was like, I am jealous.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it'd be fun to go back and have to see that, or get to see that for the first time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was 3 years old when that movie came out. So
Yeah.
that, that meant the world to me. But I told him, I was like, it was cool seeing it on the big screen. The thing that really struck me was hearing it with that audio.
Yeah,
Because I am one of those people, I have
VHS
seen.
audio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even I've got it on Blu-ray, even that. But the thing is, I have seen that movie literally hundreds of times. That is not an exaggeration. I can recite that movie line for line.
All right, let's do it. That's the live stream.
No, it's not.
I love it.
I tried, guys. I tried.
But
But you also have to reenact it.
no. I could probably do the Alexander Knox part. Everything else I would suck. Although Robert Wool is pretty fucking amazing. So maybe I'm overestimating myself. But it was a really, really fun time. But hearing it, I was hearing things that I've never heard before. Not lines, just little sound ticks, little sound effects and things like that. And, it was really enjoyable. So I guess I should probably announce that our next live show, it just so happened that
It's a coinkydink.
I'm trying not to do it this week. It just so happens June 23rd, which is the actual 30th anniversary of the release of Batman 89, falls on a Sunday. It was like serendipity. So, on June 23rd, did I say June or July 1st?
I don't know what you said.
Well, it's June 23rd. Am I right on that, Brandon? Brandon?
I don't know. I thought I could switch calendars on my.
We're live,
on my-
Brandon. I'm looking it up right now, just to make sure that I give an accurate date.
Yeah, June 23rd.
Okay, June 23rd, we will be doing our next live show.
I may or may not be here.
Why?
I'll be on vacation.
Oh, son of a
That's the day I
bitch.
come back.
Oh, I doubt I'll be here too.
Why?
I'll be on vacation.
Are you being serious right now? Or are
Yeah.
you just, oh my God.
We're going on vacation for like 3
Okay,
weeks.
so we're going to do a solo live show with just me. Spence, you want to do a show that
yeah,
day?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me
Spence
and
is
Spence.
good.
Fuck you guys. We'll do
I'm
it
from
by-
Florida.
Hey, I'll be
Every
coming
day's a
back.
vacation
Enjoy your
for him.
vacation. No. We are going to do a live show, and it's going to be 100% Batman 89. I think that movie deserves its own episode. I mean, whether you like it or you don't like it or you kind of like it, whatever it is, that movie is very important. It was the first serious depiction of Batman. And I use serious very, very lightly because watching it now, it's campy as hell.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's
Oh, yeah.
not.
But it's fun.
It's
Yeah.
not Adam West Batman campy.
No, but it's still really funny. It's just daffy. It's a daffy
Yeah,
movie.
it is.
But so I will put up more information on the Facebook page as we get closer to that. That's going to be well over a month, about a month and a half from now. So we're going to be doing that. Also, just a reminder that 6 days from today, next Saturday, is Cancer Sucks.
Yep.
And whenever we come back from break, I am going to show you guys the T-shirt. We have the T-shirt. I keep looking over here. The camera's over here, but I can't
Yeah.
turn my head. So I'm just going to focus on you.
You're like
guys.
Batman. You have to
Okay.
turn your whole body.
Yeah. So we're going to show the T-shirts. And to everybody who has donated to Cancer Sucks, thank you so much. You can still donate. I mean, if you need the link, I can send you the link. Every dime counts. we will continue to do that. So let's go to the chat. Let's see what people have going on.
Just my white face.
Just your white face, and Joshua Shipley is waving.
Hey.
What do you guys want to hear about? We can actually, I mean, this is kind of like live streams. You guys can give us ideas of what to talk about.
It is a live stream.
Yeah.
Like the pre.
But it's like that, too.
Yeah, kind of. And I know that usually we used to have the 2 camera feeds. The reason why we have it set up the way we do right now is because
Linux.
I'm going to have
Remember last week when Linux fixed our computer?
I know. It fixed. But the thing is, if that's the only problem I'm having with it compared to all the other bullshit that I had to deal with, I'll take it.
Hey, Jen.
Hey.
Hi, Jen. How are you? We do have the homework assignment, but I don't want to get into that just yet because we got some time to fill.
We do.
We have no content. I do better planning
Did you see Avengers hit 2 billion?
Yes.
They surpassed Titanic.
Surpassed Titanic, expected to take the number 1 spot by the end of the week.
That's
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
We are witnessing history.
They also broke domestic. They got over 600 million in a
Domestic
shorter
sales?
amount of time than the last movie that broke that.
That's awesome.
I'm not trying to piss on their parade by any means, but it should also be noted that if you adjust those for inflation, it's not going to beat Avatar. Because the thing is, you got to look at ticket prices.
Okay, but what about 3D?
I was actually reading something today where one of the Russos was saying that they kind of wish the movie wasn't doing as well, so people would quit talking about how much money it was making and talk more about the movie and the story and how it brings like an end to this
They
whole
haven't
universe.
lifted the ban yet.
Yeah, that's another thing. We were going to have a spoiler filled conversation. I think we're going to put a moratorium on that for 1 more week.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's not even because like the Russo brothers instituted a ban that's being lifted tomorrow. That's not even why. It's because this is a live show. It's very hard for us to warn people.
Yeah,
and there
that's true.
may still
people can
be
just
people
join in
out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Going back to them talking about, I wish it wasn't making so much money. Shut up.
Yeah, no shit.
Shut
Yeah.
up.
But when they're talking about how they're proud of the movie and the story and how it, like I said, how it draws this conclusion to the whole universe that's been built over the years, like they just kind of wish people were talking more about the movie and not necessarily how much it's making.
Well, it's making money because we like that shit, so
Yeah.
get over it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I've noticed that Spence's waveform is not very wide at all.
Is that not like a native thing?
I don't know what's going
This
on.
is
with
not. I would assume his doesn't pick up there.
No, it should, because it's all going through the same board.
it. Spence, say something.
Something.
Hey!
See?
Yeah,
There-
I don't.
No, that's me.
That's nothing.
Yeah. No, there's something, but it's barely coming through. I don't know.
Weird.
We've never had any issues with it before.
I know. Well,
Even with Linux.
I may end up having to download the audio from Facebook.
What are you
don't
gonna
want-
do?
I would
What are you
compare
gonna do?
I don't want to do it, but I will, huh?
I'd compare them.
Yeah, we can compare them. Not a big deal.
What's everybody want to talk about?
Yeah.
Start asking questions.
Google I/O 2019 is coming up.
Do they have anything to announce? I mean, I'm sure there's probably going to be some Stadia shit.
Mid-range pixels, which has been out in the news for a while.
Yeah. 3E
Um,
or
the 3A.
3A, that's it.
Google Nest products.
Yep.
Android Q Beta 3.
Android Q. What is that?
Oh, live boot for Android. That's actually really, really good. And then updates on Stadia.
He got way too excited about that. It's
Yeah,
not
I don't know what that is.
exciting.
I think it's pretty exciting.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, Darren, the thing is, we hear him just fine. You guys hear him just fine. We're talking about on the Audacity side for recording for the podcast. So, worst case scenario, I'll just use the Facebook audio. It just won't be quite as high quality as some of our other episodes. And hopefully by the time we do this again, we'll have all the shit ironed out.
I'm not holding my breath.
Well, the thing is, my original plan for today was going to be to work on all this stuff all day leading up to the stream.
Yeah.
But then I got invited to.
It was too nice of a day to sit inside.
Yeah, no kidding. I got invited by my cousin who does the Cancer Sucks ride to test ride the route. And I was like, I can't say no to that. So we went on a test ride. We rode about 100 miles today. It was beautiful. If you guys have a bike, seriously, come to that ride because it is it's something. It really is. I'm just waiting for people to
Yeah, ask us questions. What do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah. Please help us. I really don't want to do I really don't want to do the homework assignment right now.
So rumor is they're dropping a new Spider-Man Far From Home trailer tomorrow, and that's why the Russos have said the ban will be lifted tomorrow, because there's going to be something potentially spoilery in the trailer.
That would
Well, I was
make a
reading
lot
an
of
article
sense.
about why they wanted to relieve the ban, and they said because they, like you said previously, they really want the movies to be conversational, and having that ban is restricting a lot of conversation, hence why we're having issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I saw that article as well. You know, they said, you know, we don't want it to get spoiled for people. We understand that there are some people who still have not been able to get out and see it. At a certain point, that's got to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, people saying if they don't go opening weekend, fuck them. No, that's not acceptable. But we are 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
So at this point,
Getting about that time,
Yeah.
people.
So next week, I promise we are going to have a more in-depth conversation.
Yep.
At that point, the ban will be lifted. It'll be a regular show that we record and cut. So we're not going to have a lot of the obstacles that we would have otherwise.
Indeed.
We can talk about the Sonic debacle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the rework that someone did?
I've seen quite a few
the
different
fan one,
reworks.
yeah.
A lot of fan reworks that all look infinitely better than the professionals.
Yes.
Yeah, and I still want to see what the studio's actually going to do.
Let's see.
Because I still think they're going to fuck it up.
Well, that's very possible. That's what studios do to intellectual properties that people love. So.
One of our fans on NerdJab's Facebook page was talking about how they think it was a publicity stunt anyways to get people talking about it and hyped up, and then they're going to release the actual later.
If that was actually their strategy, they didn't do it well.
I completely agree
You
with
know,
that.
yeah, it's good to have people talking about it, but everybody's shitting on it.
Right.
Yeah.
And for good reason. The thing is, my problem isn't even with the design of the character. My problem is it looks like it sucks. The whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's true.
I mean, I love Sonic. Sonic is a sacred character to me because I played those games for, you know, whenever all of my friends had Super Nintendos, I had a Sega Genesis.
Right.
I was a big Genesis fan. And so Sonic is a big deal. They say they're making a movie, and of course, you know, there's a part of me that's like, cool. The other part of me is like, it's gonna suck because almost every video game
maybe.
movie
Yeah.
does.
Hey,
It just
There was like 8 minutes of Doom that was cool.
That's it.
when it was first
When
person.
it was Doom.
Yeah.
When it was just first person.
You know, I saw that for the first time about a year ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
I actually watched it very shortly after it came out on the regular TV and stuff.
Yeah.
I was not impressed, obviously.
It was on
awful.
one of the streaming services. I can't remember which one, but I was like, I'll watch it just to see if it's as bad as everyone says. It was as bad as everyone said.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It is.
There was really no redeeming other than the
Doom part was
the
pretty
5
cool.
minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really, I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. And then it went back to the regular movie. I'm
And then
like,
it's like, well, it sucks again.
it sucks again.
Yeah.
Yay.
Similar to like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I mean, they just
Hey.
suck.
Yeah.
Don't you say shit about Mortal Kombat.
It sucked.
Mortal Kombat sucked.
I know.
And Annihilation sucked even
Oh,
worse.
yeah.
God, that was horrible.
You will die.
Do you have anything to say about that, Spence? You're usually wrong about these things.
Well, I enjoyed the second one a little more, but I think it's because at that point it had characters in it that I wished we could have seen in the first movie. It's like I kind of enjoyed them a little more.
I mean those
but
really terrible CG ones?
He
Yeah.
likes those. He likes Surfer Raiden.
Yeah, right.
no, it was like Cyrax and Sector. I think both of them were in there, and then they had
Yeah, they were.
Jax in there with the arms. You know.
My wife just said I liked the first Mortal Kombat. Does anybody have a number for a good lawyer?
Nope.
Doesn't matter. You got nothing she can take.
No shit. Yeah.
However, did you guys see the meme where somebody took the kid from Jumanji after he turned into the monkey or
kid,
whatever,
yeah.
and
Turned him
reworked
into
him to
Sonic.
make
Yeah,
him look
that
like
was pretty
Sonic?
good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That was okay. Let's see here. This is kind of interesting to me. The number 2 movie in the country is The Intruder. Have you heard of that movie?
I've never even heard of it.
Neither have
No.
I.
Have you?
I have not.
Huh.
It seems like it's always when there's this big event movie that is making tons and tons of money that all of the really, really low stuff kind of rises to just under it. And by just under it, I mean weekend estimates, Avengers took in $145 million. The Intruder took in $11 million.
I'm gonna say it's not making more money. It's just it's higher on the list, but not
I'd be
making any
curious.
more money.
I'd be curious how much the Batman '89 brought in yesterday.
I don't think they would have that on here.
How much were your tickets?
$12.50.
Oh, so $25.
It was worth it.
Go.
It was actually there were quite a few people there.
Yeah, I figured there would
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
They had 2 screenings. They had one at 1
p.m.
1 p.m. and 4 p.m. were the 2 screenings.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow they're showing Batman Returns. I'd really like to go.
I'm not going to that.
No.
I have to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. I was working yesterday too.
So, anywho,
It's all right. Me and Joe just cuddled during the movie.
Oh.
he tried to keep raising up the armrest. I'm like, stop it.
No, you didn't.
We're in public.
Oh yeah,
it.
stop it.
Somebody my wife knows might be here.
I don't think she'd be surprised.
Do we still have an audience?
The number's going down.
It's been fluctuating.
Yeah.
We think we need. Well, that's
And
a good
they're
thing.
not
about
very
it.
interactive today.
Yeah, not at all. Apparently, you guys forgot how to do this shit.
Well, I mean,
But to be fair, so did we. You remember, like by week 4 of those live streams,
We were, like, on it.
We were
Yeah.
a well-oiled machine, and then
We were
it's just
rolling.
completely forgot how to do a live.
we
show.
aren't ready.
We aren't. Show them your shirt.
We aren't ready.
Yeah. So you can get those shirts at nerdjab.com.
Yeah, go out and buy some.
Yeah, they're fun.
They are.
Anyone? You know, I really don't. We're only 22 minutes in. I really don't want to take a break right now.
You might
taking a
need
break.
to take
Yeah.
a break. Though.
Well, here's the thing. I got like right behind you. I see some material that I'm going to pull out for a segment a little bit later in the show, and then also I've got the T-shirts
right.
that we can show off. So let's say we're going to take a break at around 45. I think 45 minutes. I think that's probably a good bet. Until then, give us something to talk about. Anyone?
Yeah, we were kind of waiting on you
Please.
guys.
Well,
Counting on you this week.
the whole week I was thinking, man, we're gonna have a good show because we're gonna be talking about Endgame and be able to interact with people and see what they think. And now we can't because we're not gonna be talking about it.
Yeah. Well,
That's all I had
mean,
planned all the whole week. So.
Yeah, but the thing, I hope that it makes sense why we should wait. I mean,
It does.
Oh yeah.
Just because I kept thinking about that. I'm like, the thing is, we're going to get somebody is going to be pissed because, they're going to come in halfway through and they're going to hear something.
Right.
And it's like, hey, asshole, I haven't seen that yet. So
I say fuck.
That's why I said just put spoilers of Endgame. Done.
the thing is, the only person that I've seen do that, Michael Zapsik, who was one of the guys from Comic Book Men, he was on a podcast and they were doing a spoiler talk. It was like the week the movie came out. They had a graphic up.
Yeah.
They had it over and over and over again. If you have not seen Endgame and do not want it spoiled, do not listen to this.
Right.
If you have, come join us and we'll have a nice fun time.
I think Darren brought up a good point. Our audience is just too drunk to type.
Yeah, it could be.
It's true.
Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah. Is anybody hungover out there?
Yeah, you're all about like 8 margaritas deep.
Yeah.
Hey, Amber's on Facebook today.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
She
And
got
she's
on.
throwing shade too.
Yeah, she is.
What did she say? We can,
We can tell.
When we said
We
we
ain't
weren't
ready.
we didn't have
Yeah.
anything going on, and yeah,
Thanks, Amber. Thank you for your support.
she's sweet.
She's taking care of Meatball.
Yeah, that's how is Meatball doing?
Not as fat.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, getting exercise.
Yeah.
Apparently, I need to get on the meatball diet.
Please don't eat his cat.
You can.
Start eating fancy feast.
This shit's really expensive, man.
It is. That's the reason why our cat doesn't eat it.
Yeah.
12 hours a day.
What'd you say, Spence?
I said eating fancy feast and sleeping 12 hours a day.
Hey, I
you
could
go.
get down with
Down
that.
for that,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'd be nice.
I'll live that Garfield lifestyle. God, we have so much random crap on the table.
I was
Sorry.
using that. Dick.
Okay.
So
you
not
guys just wanna do
huge
our
news, and I
homework?
didn't get to watch the episode last night, but I watched some of the sketches and stuff from it. But Adam Sandler returned to SNL and hosted last night.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that.
Yeah, I got to about 12:30, and I was like, shit, I completely forgot. By the way, yesterday was Mandy's birthday.
Happy birthday, Mandy.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Mandy.
birthday.
She's probably not watching this because she
Wasn't
is...
you on vacation?
Yeah, she went to Florida. Her and a friend of hers went to Florida for her birthday. So, but she'll probably watch this later or listen to the podcast. So, happy birthday, Mandy. But that was a big deal for her, was that Adam Sandler was making his first appearance on Saturday Night Live since he left the show. And it was on her birthday. She's a big Adam Sandler fan.
Was he funny?
I haven't watched it yet. I got to about 12:30 last night, and
Maybe.
you know, we
Yeah.
were just we've been, this weekend has been kind of hectic. It's been
Little
kinda
bit.
crazy. But
What do you guys think about Jim Carrey and Sonic as Dr. Robotnik?
that's the only part of it that I have a little bit of faith in.
I still didn't like it.
I think it would be
I-
interesting.
Well, no, yeah, the trailer itself sucked, but the fact that he's in there and he sounded like he was Ace Ventura-ish, right? And that's the Jim Carrey I really like. He just seemed like he had that attitude again in the trailer.
It seemed very liar to me.
Really?
Like parts of liar where he's talking very fast and very precise and everything. That's what it seemed more like.
Yeah, I could see that.
But there was that little blurb at the end,
Yeah.
where he looks like
Looks like the actual robot.
Eggman.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I hate that name.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. That's one thing they're doing right, is calling him Robotnik.
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
yeah,
Eggman.
that Eggman stuff is so stupid. That's
Oh, I
a
agree.
Stupid name.
It's just like I might get some pushback for this, but the same thing bothers me whenever they call Koopa Bowser. I remember King Koopa.
Well, I mean, that doesn't
See,
bother
I
me.
started playing more or less on Super Nintendo, and they called him Bowser in that.
See,
Yeah.
maybe it was because I don't know. And the thing is, his name is Bowser Koopa.
Right.
All of that family has the last name. They're all Koopa,
Right.
but he was King Koopa in the original. I don't know. I don't know why it bothers
I mean, he's
me.
still technically King Koopa, but everybody just called him Bowser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what
Well,
I've always known him as.
I think it's also because his kids, like, they had him in Super Mario World, so everybody had a first name and their last name was Koopa, so I think that's kind of why they went more with the Bowser on that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Nate says, "Hey, you guys."
Hey, you guys. Man, I wish they would make another Goonies.
Why? It would be
Why?
terrible.
Oh, my God. I love the first one.
Yeah. So watch it again instead.
I do a lot, actually.
Yeah.
But I still want a second one to see how badly they fuck
Maybe
it
you
up.
should stop watching it as often and
Maybe.
watch
I
something else.
They've actually said recently that the talks of the sequel they were going to do are pretty much done. They're not going to be
they're
doing
not
it
ever
anymore.
going to do it.
That's a good question, Darren. Is there a video game that you guys would like to see made into a movie?
No.
Ooh.
Nothing at all.
Can we make it to where we know it'll be good?
Well,
Because
I think
right
that
now,
kind
like-
of takes the question out of it.
Yeah.
That's not the fun.
Maybe if they could find a way to inject a more coherent story that is good for a movie instead of a video game, because I think that's the problem. I think Portal would look cool,
Yeah, that would be
I
a fun
think
one.
that'd be pretty fun.
but I love those games, but
I don't know how they turn
movie
that
might-
into a movie.
I don't know either. It's a great, because the first one had pretty much no storyline up
Right.
until about the last
Very
third
end.
of the game.
Yeah.
The second one had a pretty rich storyline, but it was good for a game. I don't know if it would be good for a movie.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
So
Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
That's like just going to be my answer for anything game related.
No.
Spence got
I'm okay
very
with that.
amused by that.
What?
Why?
No, I think
Were
that'd
you
be a
thinking-
good one.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing.
I feel like you'd have to do others before you start with Ocarina of Time. So I don't think if you started out with that, it would be done very well.
Why
Hey,
not?
listen.
Why? I was like, what?
Sorry, guys.
We did, and you didn't say anything.
Exactly.
Dick.
Neither did she.
That's because you didn't press the C button.
So I read somewhere recently that they cast Master Chief in the new TV series that they're doing. I don't know if any of you guys have heard about that or not.
See, that's another thing is that Halo is a rich story on its own. It doesn't need a movie.
Yeah, and see, I think that's the difference is if it already has a rich story, it's basically a movie that you're playing.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. If there's not a story, it's going to make a shitty movie.
Now, one exception to a degree, like me and Darren were talking about this a couple of days ago, so that's probably why she asked that question. Nate said remake Mortal Kombat.
No.
What about Assassin's Creed? Oh, never mind.
That wasn't it a
That
YouTube
was
series,
so
though?
bad. I wanted to like that so much because I love Assassin's Creed.
I didn't
that
watch
movie,
it. I just
And again, it's one of those games that already has a rich
Yeah.
story. It's a movie that you play.
Literally,
It's
yeah.
like,
but money, Joe.
Resident Evil was one that we brought up because the thing is, they did something unique with that. They had the characters from the games and stuff like that, but the thing is, they created a central character that is in none of the games. They took the concept and made a completely original
Right.
story out of it.
Yes.
If they could do that and it be good, because
Pull a Resident Evil. Because I like those movies.
they're not bad.
Yeah.
They're really not. They're not. I mean,
They're probably the best video game movies I've ever seen.
Compared to
like
other
that.
video game
Yeah,
movies.
okay,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
In that context,
They're
yeah.
not The Godfather, but nobody expects them to be.
Well, no. But
Maybe your game has to have some sort of horror element to it because Silent Hill wasn't too bad of a movie either.
You know, I need to go back and watch. I never saw the second one. The first one I saw a long time ago, and I don't remember anything about it.
I
don't even know if
remember
I've ever
bits
seen
and pieces. I don't remember everything. Like, whenever I think of Silent Hill, all I think is fog and the triangle head.
Pyramid
That's pretty
Head.
much it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like throw some creepy nurses in and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The creepy nurses.
With nice boobs.
Yeah. Justin doesn't like them.
Why would you?
I don't know.
They had nice boobs.
Paper bag.
That looked,
I was just getting ready to say that. You're so misogynist.
Oh yeah, Amber
yeah.
brings up a good
Yeah,
one.
the first Tomb Raider wasn't too bad.
The Tomb Raider.
It wasn't bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched
Yeah.
the newest one?
No.
It was
I've heard
okay.
it.
I liked
I've
it
heard
too.
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I liked it.
I've heard that Alicia Vikander actually fits the character a little bit
Oh,
better
yeah.
than Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
she does.
for sure.
Nate said
Oh,
Kingdom
Kingdom
Hearts. Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, that'd be
would you do it
interesting.
live action or animated?
I think Disney could do it.
I don't know if you'd want to do live action.
Yeah, but the thing is, how good have any of the Final Fantasy movies been? Because
Not.
that's set in the Final Fantasy universe.
Right.
That's true.
So, I don't know. And there's
But
probably
Final
a rights
Fantasy
issue
is
there.
very similar to. I mean, you're basically playing a movie in
Yeah.
90% of the Final Fantasies.
It's a really, really hard balance to keep because, again, it's almost like what's the point? Again, with Resident Evil, they did it well because they took the concept and expanded on it with a different character and then had all the other characters. Why do I keep saying carriers?
I
What
don't
the
know.
hell's wrong?
I think you're
with
thinking
I have no
zombies
idea.
and carriers.
I think I'm like dehydrated from today.
Probably.
really,
Could be.
I really
you
think
look
I am.
pretty red.
I am very red, and you can actually see
Your glove marks.
my tan lines on my gloves. And
See,
this
Curtis
up here.
fucking gets it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say Curtis said live,
Live
action
action
Zelda.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be awesome.
I think that people have been clamoring for that for a while, and I mean, as
There's
a
a lot
guy,
of fan made ones that are actually okay.
yeah, as a guy who is not a big Zelda guy, it's just not my kind of game. Again, I understand
He
that
doesn't like
people
good
love it.
games.
Yeah, I guess so.
I just don't care for like top down. Stop it! You're triggering me.
Are you about to say top down? 'Cause you don't have to play top down ones.
I know,
There's others.
but I'm not into it. It's a little
you
bit
don't have to
too,
play 'em all.
It's a little bit too fantasy for me.
Oh,
The only thing that I can think of
and Mario's not.
that was no Mario. No, I mean no.
Plumbers are real, Brandon.
Yeah,
Yeah, but giant fucking turtle dragons aren't.
but turtles are real and mushrooms are real.
You don't fucking. They don't try to eat you.
They might.
No, they don't. You eat them.
Anything's
The
possible.
turtles too.
So what about like a choose your own adventure Fable movie?
Darren would be down for that. Darren, what
Which
do
one?
you think of that? Say it in the chat.
What do you say?
He said
Fable?
a do-it-yourself, or a
Ooh.
pick your own adventure type Fable game.
I would like that a
Or
lot.
Fable movie, and they're doing that on Netflix. They're kind of experimenting
Yeah,
with that. They
I've
have
seen that.
a
Oh,
they have
yeah,
a
yeah,
Bear
yeah.
Grylls show.
Yeah, where you
that
get to
you-
choose what he's gonna do.
Yeah, it's like the video equivalent of a choose your own adventure book.
Can I just choose drink my own piss every time?
Well, he does anyway.
Until he
so.
dies.
Devil May Cry.
Hey, bear, eat that turd.
Devil May Cry. I think didn't Uwe Boll already make that or something?
I don't know.
No,
I thought it was already made.
he made Blood Rain.
I know.
Oh.
He made like 10 different. It felt like, and they were all the same.
Let's look up Hewitt Bowles' discography. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Take a drink, Joe. Take a drink.
Yeah, I may need to go get a
Filmography.
bottle of water. I'm like seriously, I'm kind of confused and delirious. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Live action Yu-Gi-Oh movie. I wasn't a real
Yeah, I'd
big
be down
Yu-Gi-Oh
for
I
fan.
never did Yu-Gi-Oh. I have no clue.
I
it
played the
just
card
Pokemon?
game very little, but I watched the
a
TV
card
show quite a bit when I was younger.
Okay, so Hewitt Bowl made House of the Dead, which is based on a video game.
Yeah, he did a lot of video games.
Really?
Blood Rain and Blood Rain 2, because we were, there's so many unanswered questions from Blood Rain 1.
Like, why did this need made?
He made a third one. I didn't even know
Oh my
that.
God.
The
That
Third
had to
Reich.
be like that had to be like Kickstartered.
Probably.
And then he's
Or self-funded.
he is probably the king of the shitty movie. And be careful saying it to him because he will like verbally accost you. He's known for that. If somebody's
Really?
like, "You suck," he's like, "Fuck you!" Like he gets really, really shitty.
Wow.
About it. Yeah.
That's great.
Maybe he should not suck.
Yeah. Or stop making movies.
Yeah.
Oh, your mom had a good question.
What was-
Joe, how many times have you seen the original Batman, and how old were you when you saw it for the first time?
Specific numbers, please.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, the exact number.
I was 3 when I saw it. It was
How many months?
right at the end, probably right before I turned 4,
Okay, so like 47 months?
because I got.
What about weeks?
I can't do that math. Sorry. I'm out.
See, the thing is, I know you're kidding.
What if
but
we make
I'm-
it pies? Can you do the math if we make it pies?
But you remember the whole dehydration
Maybe cartoon
thing?
shows. The episode, this is 13 episodes long. Sorry.
I'll wait.
I don't know what
Go
the hell
ahead.
you were talking.
Travel time.
All right. Go.
It was probably around the time, like late age 3, early age 4. It was late age 3. I got the video for Christmas from my Aunt Hilda.
Isn't that like PG-13?
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
That's the
my
reason why
goodness,
I didn't
Hilda.
get to see it in a theater. And also because a 3-year-old really doesn't need to go to the movies. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. So it came out in 89.
Yes.
You were 3 when it came out.
Yes. I was about three and a half.
Well, he
I
most
was-
likely
I-
saw it on video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
You
if you
might have
watched on
been-
VHS, you would have been
you
4 or
honestly
something.
might have been
No.
4.
Yeah.
No, it came out before Christmas.
What?
It was that fast.
Wow.
They used to be so much slower.
They wanted to capitalize.
Oh, yeah.
and
yeah, yeah.
and they made it. That was back when a lot of movies they would come out. They would actually come out pretty quick, but the thing is, they would only go to rental to get a copy of it.
yeah. Okay.
It cost
That-
like
yeah.
$90 because
Yeah.
they would sell them to the rental houses. The rental houses would make their money back.
Yep.
Because it came with a license to rent it. That's the reason why there was a term that was used in TV ads and like posters and stuff, priced to own.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
When you could get a video for $19.95.
Right.
Because that was not common back then.
Yeah. If you don't return that thing to Blockbuster, they're charging you $80.
Oh yeah.
So Batman didn't have that period where it was only available for rental before it went price.
Right.
It was price to own out the gate because they knew they were going to sell them like
Oh,
hotcakes.
yeah.
I don't think people remember. Even being 3 years old, I remember what it was like when that movie first came out. I was telling you this. You can go anywhere without seeing Batman t-shirts.
Right.
Oh yeah.
There were, there was cereal. He actually bought me a box of the cereal. It's out,
yeah.
Oh,
With
yeah, it's
the,
on the
with the
garage.
bank. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's out in the garage. I showed it to him last week.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
pretty cool.
I will have
like-
what?
McDonald's even had like the glasses and stuff you can get too, right? Where was
No.
that the second movie they started that?
No, that was Batman Forever. The
We aren't
first
talking
cup,
about that.
The first cup for the first movie was actually at Taco Bell.
Okay.
And I have one
How
of
the
those
fuck
cups.
do you know that?
I have one of those cups. I remember. And I remember
So-
Batman Returns had plastic cups as well at McDonald's. They were the plastic cups, but then the lids
Was
doubled
Batman.
as a Frisbee.
Neat. I like frisbees.
I don't know if that was serious or if
It was
being very
real.
condescending.
No,
it was
that,
real.
No, that was strangely authentic.
Neat.
I will make
So-
you a deal. So on the June 23rd, I have a bunch of 89 Batman shit.
Shocker.
I am going to have it here for the video.
Bring it out.
Yeah. The series,
it off.
everything, including a couple of little surprises, a couple of little rarities that took me a long time to find.
All right, second part of the question before we move on, because we do have some more questions.
Yeah.
How many
we're getting
times
some
have I seen it?
questions
Oh, Jesus. It's in the triple digits, easily. Probably several hundred times.
Wow.
Nice.
Like I said, when we went and saw it yesterday, I was playing it through my head while we watched it.
I was entranced.
Yeah. Well, it was your first time seeing
Yeah.
it.
Like, and that's, Joe looked at me and he's like, I looked at you and you were like just so zoned in. And he was like, I just kept thinking to myself, surely he's seen this before. And then you were like, shocker, Brandon hasn't seen something. That's what I was thinking, Joe. Like, Joe should know I probably haven't seen something.
Yeah.
Just assume I haven't seen it. Anything I watch.
I'll be shocked when you have seen something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Well, do you remember his
Multiplicity.
reaction for Multiplicity?
Yeah.
He was like, really?
You have?
Yeah.
Wow.
Andy Isgrig says, you think the Batman movie should stick to more human enemies? I hate to see them butcher Clayface or his other powered villains, I'm assuming is what he was trying to say there.
I would actually like to see them get a little more
I would
on
too.
the powered side with his enemies.
I think that it depends on what kind of movie it is.
Yeah.
For The Dark Knight Rises, I think they were very smart to stick to
Yep.
a very grounded.
Oh, yeah.
Realistic.
Because if you think about it, was there anything that you can think of in The Dark Knight Rises that couldn't actually really happen?
No.
I guess getting from the middle of the desert back to Gotham overnight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's true.
Okay, other than that, that was a stretch. That wasn't a fantasy
Maybe,
point.
maybe
though.
Gotham's right next to a desert. You don't know.
Yeah.
Well, like with Ra's al Ghul, I know that there were, or Ra's al Ghul as they call him in that. I know that one thing that they were really concerned about is the Lazarus pit and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That never showed up or anything. They kept that out.
Yeah, I kind of forgot that they never put that in there.
The Bane stuff, they made him very grounded in reality.
Yeah.
But like even down to the suit, it was all military
Yeah, it was
applications
very-
and
yeah.
stuff. And actually, some of the stuff, the fabric
Yeah.
that they use to, if you apply electrical current, it
Right.
becomes rigid. That's actually something that's
Yeah.
in development in the military.
Yep.
So I mean, that was one thing I really enjoyed. Now, as far as the Burton Schumacher films, well, just the Burton films, they didn't really get that fantastical. I mean,
Right.
there was the 9 Lives thing with Selena Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
And there was, I mean, I guess someone could be disfigured and grow up in a sewer. I guess technically it could happen.
Yeah, it could.
It's unlikely, but it could. 89 Batman, I didn't see anything that really struck me as, it didn't start getting fucking weird until Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
That's when Mr. Freeze was when I was like that was because I watched.
That's when everybody was like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yeah.
So
Okay. I'd like to see Clayface. Just
I would
throwing
too.
that out there.
Oh, I'd love to see Clayface.
Depends
He was
on
one
it.
of my favorite villains from the animated TV series whenever he was on there.
I mean, honestly, they did Sandman pretty well.
They
in
did
the
do
third Spider-Man,
Sandman.
and
You
while
know-
not the same character, is very
the
similar.
movie itself sucked, but yeah, the other one was
And
good.
the FX, capabilities have come
for sure.
way farther than what they
Oh,
were
yeah.
back then.
Nate, I was actually getting ready to bring Nate. I'll get to that in a minute. Crystal Schuler asked, random, but what are your views on the Captain Marvel movie and Brie Larson's attitude off screen?
I really
I
liked
love the
Captain
movie.
Marvel.
Yeah, I thought the movie was great.
I like Brie Larson.
I like Brie Larson as
She's
well.
an excellent actress.
Yes.
Yeah.
I watched another movie of hers, Unicorn Shop or something, and
yeah,
you
I
know
saw that
it was
one
on Netflix or
but-
something. And I actually watched that before I watched Captain Marvel because I just hadn't had a chance to watch
She
it.
directed that too.
Yeah, and she directed it, so I think she's well versed.
She's a smart girl.
outside, yeah,
Yeah.
outside of the movie itself. I think she's very versatile. So yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay, Mickelson. No. I'm sorry, but it's a show that is readily available to everyone, and that episode was out like a week ago. So I am going to talk about it. I'm sorry. You can mute it for a minute.
Let's go back to Captain Marvel. Finish this up between all of us.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What?
Speak about what you think.
I already was talking. I liked it.
Did I cut you
Yeah.
off?
No,
Okay.
there wasn't really much to add.
I tend to do that
Yeah,
sometimes.
she's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Kyle. Okay. So
Spoiler. It's a
yeah.
TV show.
Spoiler alert. Give me 2 minutes. So to answer Nathan's question,
That's about all he needs.
fuck me. So I was actually getting ready to say, this goes back to the villain question about Batman. Is that the final episode? Have you guys seen the final episode of Gotham?
I haven't watched. Any
Oh, yeah.
I haven't
episode
watched any of
Gotham.
it.
Okay. Even if you don't plan on watching the show, watch the last episode because you can watch that one standalone.
Oh, okay.
Because a majority of the show takes place 10 years past the end of the Gotham story, if you will. When he's already Commissioner Gordon, the mustache makes an appearance.
Hey,
Which was kind of thrilling.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I know exactly why because I'm a Batman freak. But the reason why I was going to bring it up is because I really want to see the Penguin again. And the reason why is because the guy who plays Penguin in Gotham, he goes to his full-blown Penguin persona in that last episode.
Okay, so I
And
take
it
it
was
back. I
awesome.
have watched 2 episodes of it, and the
Okay.
guy that plays the Penguin really creeps me out.
Okay, you need to see the last episode because it'll actually fix that.
Oh, okay.
It's amazing. But
I think they did a really good job casting some of the main villains that they had throughout the entire series.
well, I mean, I think the thing is they stuck with as far as the villains for that final episode, 10 years into the future. It's Bruce Wayne's return to Gotham.
okay.
They're opening a new Wayne Tower, and he's coming back to almost like christen it. That also happens to be the first appearance of the Batman, and they stuck to 4 villains. I call them the core 4. These are the 4 greatest villains in Batman history: Joker, Catwoman, the Riddler, and Penguin.
Oh, I'd agree with all those.
Those are the 4.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that they're the only good ones. I'm just saying that those are the 4 that if you were going to name 4 Batman villains off the top of your head, those should always be the 4 that you go to.
Yeah.
Man,
Even though Catwoman's kind of a tweener, she
Right.
kind of, and they do explore that a little bit. But one thing I wanted to say is that seeing the Riddler and the Penguin together and their first interaction with Batman, I won't say exactly how it happens because I do want to be respectful to
Kyle.
whoever
To
didn't
Kyle.
fucking watch it.
Kyle.
But it borders on you like it because it's almost dark and serious, but it also has just a little bitty hint of campy to it, and you can get away with that with the Riddler and the Penguin. I think.
yeah.
Without saying much, the Joker,
Who plays the Joker?
Cameron Monaghan.
Cameron Monaghan.
Okay.
He was in Shameless and a couple other things. He's actually the lead in the new EA Star Wars game.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
The Fallen
Oh, okay.
Order.
Yeah.
He that's his next big thing, but I expect some pretty cool things from that kid but everything you've seen of him as the Joker prior to now, like he would become more and more Joker as time went on, and there's also some character elements there I won't say. But the last episode, he's full blown fucking Joker. It is the Joker.
That's how it happens in the comics.
And it's
though.
glorious.
It's a gradual
so
transition.
So is that a good show? You guys
Gotham?
recommend
Gotham,
watching
yeah.
Gotham? Okay.
Oh yeah.
My mom actually really liked Gotham, which is funny to me, but
Maybe I'll watch it.
she,
Yeah,
No,
I'll probably have to give it a try too.
But-
But like I said, I watched 2 episodes. Penguin really creeped me out, so I stopped watching.
it's great though. It's worth it.
All right. I'll give it a second chance.
Yeah. So yes, I don't know if there's no such thing as a perfect Joker to me
Yeah.
but there are things about the Joker from different performances that I love. Everybody says Heath Ledger was the perfect Joker. He really wasn't. He was the perfect Joker for that trilogy,
Right.
for that movie, because he was only in one movie.
Right.
But like Jack Nicholson would have looked like an idiot in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger would have looked really out of place in the
Yeah.
89 Batman.
Oh, yeah.
It just depends on the
Well, he would have
environment.
been too young.
Well,
I know, but
look who's the Joker now.
it just, like, I felt like we were finally getting a rhythm going, and then all of a sudden,
Then you fucked it all up. Yeah.
all right,
I hadn't said anything for a minute.
it is 6:50. Let's take a 10-minute break. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then I'm going to go grab a few things, and we're going to show off the shirts and some
Yeah.
other stuff. And
So let's go ahead and right before we leave, because we're going to throw up the graphic.
yes, this is the graphic. And by the way, somebody put in the chat that we are going on break because I didn't build a graphic because I'm a slacker. So we had a t-shirt contest, and we kept promising that we were going to show off the winner. This graphic that I'm getting ready to show you is going to be our winner.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and put it up. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to come back to the live feed, but then we'll put it up during the break as well. So are we ready? Drum roll, please. Bam! Nick Parker, Retro Phoenix 80. You are the t-shirt design winner.
Woo!
I actually really kind of dig this shirt. I like it. a
Amateur
lot.
hour over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, it is. So that t-shirt will be available.
In about 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's getting ready to put it up right now.
Yep.
So if you want that design, again, I'm going to put it up as we go to break, and you guys can get your hands on that shirt.
Yeah, go to nerdjab.com and click on shop, and you can see all of our t-shirts and hoodies.
Yep. So
Yep.
we're going to take about a 10, give or take a minute or two. We'll be back at 7 p.m. We'll have some props. We can continue this train wreck. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will be right back.
The fuck was that?
Shut up. All right, we're back. Thank you for hanging out with us for that, what few of you did. So I did grab a few things. I'm going to I'm going to adjust my mic and turn around here so I can address the camera for this part. I have the official Cancer Sucks 2019 shirt here. If you come to the ride, this is the one you're going to get. Ta-da! Beautiful Harley-like design. And of course, there's some stuff on the back. We have a lot of dedications and honors and in memories. So you get one of these if you ride in the ride. All riders and passengers get them. And then also, I think that they're going to have them, while supplies last, they will have them for sale. So, yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And you just messed up the camera.
Did I really?
Yeah, you
Oh.
did. You dumbass. Well, this is why that shirt won.
I think I fixed it. Yeah, I fixed it. All right. So sorry about that, guys. So anyway, with the box of crap that I have here, I decided to, we talk so much about different game systems and things like that we've had growing up and things like that. I decided to show off my retro collection.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's see what we got in here. We have a Mark II Super Nintendo.
Never had that one. Just
Yeah.
had the brick one.
Yep. I kind of wish I had the Mark I,
Yeah.
but anyway, there's that. And a Mark II Sega Genesis, which these are all going to get hooked up down here at some point. They were hooked up before the water issue.
Yeah.
And then the third one, I don't have a lot, unfortunately. But,
Oh, yeah, there it is. I
yep.
see that expansion pack hiding in there.
Oh yeah. This has the memory expansion pack, so you can play some of the.
Like Conker's Bad Fur Day.
So, yeah. You guys can talk about anything.
You're doing your little show and tell.
I know. Oh, and then this is the fabled.
Hey.
This has been brought up a couple of times, and I was looking specifically for this and decided to bring in the rest. But this is my little yellow Game Boy Pocket, and it has a copy of Link's Awakening
Look at that.
in it. Yeah, still in great shape. So, anywho, just figured I'd show that off while we have the opportunity, while we have video.
So Crystal Schuler brought up the Captain Marvel question, and the reason for her asking was because the internet is all abuzz about her interview with Chris Hemsworth and how much they actually hate each other, and how the other Avengers have issues with her as well.
Really?
I haven't heard anything about that.
I haven't heard
anything
anything
either.
about it either.
She does seem like a difficult person.
Yeah.
Now I'm interested.
Well, I mean, at least we know Samuel L. Jackson can work with her because he was in that Unicorn Shop movie with her as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and she's also, I mean, she's one of those actors that went into it with some prestige. I mean, she is an Academy Award winning actress.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's on the higher end, I think. That doesn't give her an excuse to be a bitch if that's what's going on. But I have not seen anything about any kind of issues between her and Chris Hemsworth or anything like that. That's kind of strange.
Yeah.
That's not a good look.
No, it's not.
Because she's part of the new regime. I mean, she's, obviously they're, God, I can't say a lot because, it's going to spoil some stuff, but
Oh, yeah, shit.
there's a turning point in who's going to be in Marvel movies from here on out. So, hopefully they can work that shit out.
Go ahead, Spence.
Yeah.
I was going to say, so we've talked about this before, but I was actually going through Facebook a couple days ago, and there were people talking about the Fox merger with Disney and how they're going to be rebooting everything for
X-Men?
the X-Men to go into the universe. And
Except
I guess
Deadpool.
there's still some confusion about Deadpool for some people. But I just kind of want to know if there was like anybody you guys would be kind of excited to see be brought in through the X-Men universe that we haven't already seen.
No, I think that the better way to do it would be to continue the current storyline. I am against them
too.
rebooting it because I think there's still a lot of life left. Obviously, the first wave of X-Men characters as portrayed by certain actors, your Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, all that's done.
Yeah.
It's over. And it's fine. It ran its course. There were some good movies. There were a couple of low points too, but for the most part, it served its purpose. I think that this new wave gave it a very necessary shot in the arm.
I do too. Yeah.
And to see it get shut down now, I mean, obviously we're still going to get Dark Phoenix. We're still going to get New Mutants, but
New Mutants is looking questionable. They keep putting it off.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
I think it'll come out. I think that they're scared about putting out a horror movie. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, under that context. Sorry, guys. I think that I think they'll figure it out. It'll see some sort of life. It would not shock me at this point if it went straight to streaming.
Right. Yeah.
Hulu,
Yeah. Hulu or
which that
Disney Plus.
gives us a perfect segue into Marvel has greenlit a Ghost Rider show for Hulu.
yes, I did see that. Which
It's going to be not the Nicolas Cage John
God.
Blaze or whatever. Not that character. It's a newer Ghost Rider named Robbie Reyes that drives like some sort of muscle car. I think it's a Charger or something like that.
yeah, that's lame.
I think that's cooler.
He needs to ride a motorcycle.
They've already used him once in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and that season I'm pretty sure got some pretty good reception.
So is it going to be this? Is it going to tie in?
Same
with-
guy, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So it's a spinoff. It's a spinoff of
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
And they've announced another one called Hellstorm, I think, but I don't know too much about that character.
I don't. The thing is, I am so not invested in the Marvel properties to a certain, like a lot of the fringe Marvel properties.
Yeah,
Obviously,
me either.
Endgame was interesting.
Well, yeah.
Captain Marvel was interesting, but as far as like the TV shows, I tried watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. couldn't make it all the way through the first season. I just didn't care.
It does get better, and I haven't watched the whole thing, but that's mainly because I don't have a lot of time to watch extra stuff outside the stuff that Shaylin and I watch together. But it gets better in like the second and third season, though. But they've done so much as far as I kind of count all that with like the Netflix stuff because it's all supposed to be in the connected universe. But I think they have a handle somewhat on making the TV series as well.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I mean, the only thing that I have less of than money is time.
That's true.
So, I mean, I want to devote my time to things that, interest me. And if it doesn't catch my interest like that, I'm done with it.
Too many shows to watch, too.
There is,
yeah.
man. The market is very oversaturated with superhero content. And it almost makes it difficult to appreciate any of it.
Yeah. Because then you're just jumping from show to show to show, not being able to actually fully engage into what you're watching and be able to discuss.
Yeah. Do you remember how big of a deal?
And we're a little spoiled.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you remember how big of a deal it was when Batman Begins came out?
Oh, yeah.
And it was because we hadn't had a Batman movie in, at that point, it was 8 years.
Yeah.
Because it was 97 to 05. Yeah, so 8 years. And you weren't seeing 3, 4, 5 superhero movies a year the way you do now.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. Are you okay?
Seems a little quiet.
Does it?
Yeah.
I can jack you up a little bit.
All right.
I'll jack you off, jack you up.
Well,
Misunderstood.
what are you going to do?
Is that better?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Is that better?
Crystal Schuler asks, what about the Punisher series, though?
I didn't
What
get-
about it?
I didn't get into it.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I really liked it.
And the reason why that started with Daredevil, didn't it?
Yes.
With the
Yes.
Daredevil.
Yep.
I couldn't get into the Daredevil
See, I didn't watch
series either.
Daredevil. I didn't watch. I tried. I couldn't get into it.
Weird.
I did get into the Punisher. Jessica Jones. I liked it.
I like
And then
Iron
Lucas
Fist.
Cage.
I know that's not popular, but
I didn't like
the
Iron
second
Fist.
season was really
Did
good.
you hear that?
What? He liked Iron Fist.
Did you say Lucas Cage?
Luke
Did
Cage.
I? Oh, I meant Luke Cage. Sorry. Hey, his name was Lucas.
I'm not gonna make
His
fun
mama
of
calls him
It
Lucas.
just the thing is, me and him kind of looked at each other. I'm like, you heard that too, right? I didn't mishear that.
No, I only heard Luke. I don't know,
okay.
but I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah.
So for me, I've seen Daredevil, which I really liked, and I liked John Barenthal's Punisher a lot. But I just haven't sat down and watched the Punisher series, and Daredevil's the only one of those I have watched.
Yeah. So I think that. Are we missing any questions?
No, just everybody
like we
toning
got
on
him.
Jessica Jones.
Andy Isgrig said props. I said props earlier before we went to
yeah.
where he said sounds like an episode of Who's Line.
Yeah.
No, Andy, that would actually be more interesting than what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
We were going to play Cards Against Humanity.
Yeah, we were
Do you guys want us to play Cards Against Humanity
on air.
on air? Because I can very easily run up and get that card game.
That sounds boring to me.
No,
I don't think it'd be very engaging to them.
I don't know. I don't know.
I like the game.
Tell us in the chat. We'll keep talking, but tell us in the chat if you do. We'll do it for a little bit. We'll do it in the third.
Well, they told us they were going to buy stuff too.
Darren said no.
No.
There we are.
I agree, Darren.
Yeah. Tell us what you think. Do you guys think we should go ahead and jump into this week's top 5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's start with Spence, though.
Yeah. Well. First, let me
Spence.
let me go ahead and intro it real quick. So last week, of course, we did. This is a segment that we started in honor of High Fidelity. There's a bunch of top 5 lists. Last week we did top 5 romantic comedies. This week, in honor of Endgame and all of its success, we are doing
Kind of the second phase of the Marvel movies.
exactly. This seemed like a good opportunity to do top 5 Marvel movies. Now, here are the rules. These are not limited to MCU movies. It's basically the MCU stuff is up for grabs, the Fox stuff, the Sony stuff, everything. If it was based on a Marvel property, it gets
fair game.
Yeah. So let's do, and we're gonna do.
I forgot about that. I did the MCU.
Oh, did you really?
Did you really?
I didn't.
I did too, but
Listen.
honestly, it's because I felt that's all that was worthy for my list.
How many MCU is there? There's only like 5, 6, right?
MCU
No,
is like
there's
22.
22
Yeah.
MCU
Oh, yeah, that's
movies.
right.
MCU is
we even
the-
shared a graphic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yep.
MCU started with
I'm an idiot
Paramount, and then it
sandwich.
went into Disney. So
We're not going to play strip poker.
no, let's do Spence, then Brandon, then Mings, and then me.
Okay.
Let's
Okay,
do it that
whatever.
way.
Starting from 5.
Spence, number 5, and again,
So-
top 5 Marvel movies. Go for it.
So my number 5 is the one that kicked it off, and honestly it barely made my list, but I did it because it was the first in the line of many successful movies. But we get Robert Downey Jr.'s first appearance as Tony Stark. We get that surprise reveal at the end, and we get to watch him go through all the struggles that he did to get himself out of the danger he was in and all that. And it just an all-around great movie, and Jon Favreau directed that. And
He's talking about the first Iron Man, by the way.
Yes.
yeah.
You never said the title.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did.
The one that kicked it off.
Yep.
Which,
That's
I
my
mean,
bad.
anybody
It
who
is,
watches
and I
Marvel
got
movies
it.
knows, but
Yeah.
Just
but
clarifying for
So
people.
that's my number 5. I just, like I said, it barely made my list, but I figured with it being the first one that kind of kicked everything off, it is only right that it should be on there.
Okay.
All right. Brandon.
Brandon.
all right. Probably most unpopular opinion, but number 5 was Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
It was number 5 for me. It was a good movie. Don't get me
an
wrong.
excellent
Yeah, it was great. I love
Great.
it.
Yeah.
I felt that these others hit me. I don't know if it's just the time in my life or whatever when I watched it the first
So you're
time.
saying it's unpopular because it's not higher?
Yeah.
It's not on my list.
Oh, all right.
It's not on my list either. And the only
Perfect.
reason why I excluded it, we haven't had enough time to see what kind of staying power it has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
I can give you that. Yeah.
So
I almost left it off by default, and I mean, I've only
Yeah.
seen it once. So.
yeah.
I think that may have been one that we should have disqualified,
Yeah,
but
whatever.
we didn't.
Put it as
So
number 5. Fuck it.
yeah, that's fine.
Well, I can disqualify it and put it on put my number 6 to number 5. That's not a big deal. And that was Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Was my number 5.
Yeah, that's a good one. I forgot about that too.
I
Damn it.
did.
Confession, I haven't seen it yet.
You son
I've
of a
watched
bitch.
something you haven't.
I pulled a Brandon.
Oh my
so
god,
good,
it is
though.
good. It's very good.
It's
Very
probably
good.
the best Spider-Man movie.
I know. I need to watch it.
Yeah,
I love the comic run that it was based off of too. It's way different, but same kind of concept.
Yeah, I like this one a lot because it's very different from the typical Spider-Man that we're actually used to, including the shitty ones. And it makes it memorable.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's in my top 5 if we're excluding Avengers Endgame.
Okay.
It was my number 6 period. So
And it's a lot easier for you to talk about that than Avengers Endgame with
Yeah,
the
that too.
the
Yeah.
moratorium in place.
No
So
spoilers.
Mings, number
Okay.
5.
My number 5 is the first Avengers movie.
oh yeah,
Yeah. It's kind of a big moment at that point. Kind of seeing all the movies kind of come together. And it was a great story with great villain in Loki.
Oh, yeah.
And really, it's just it it's not that old. I mean, I guess it kind of is, but
it
it's
kind
not.
of is, but it's not.
But it already has kind of a almost nostalgia mystique for me
awesome.
at this point. Just going to see that and being so excited. that
Oh yeah,
they're coming together. It's
Like-
like all these movies are coming together.
yeah, they're
now.
assembling.
and once we have Infinity War and Endgame, I'm excited and I wanted to see it, and it's not so much fatigued,
Right.
but it's the second and the third one we've seen it, and they're crossing over, but this is the first one that was they're all gonna be on the screen at the same time thing. So yeah, it's great.
And I do want to point out there was one of those that you didn't mention, and I do want to, before I say my number, or are you done? Or-
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to cut you off. I'm going to, before I say my number 5, I'm going to establish a wall of shame. There's a Hall of Fame. There should be a wall of shame. Age of Ultron. How disappointing was that movie?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
felt it was necessary to include Vision.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think they could have done it better.
And I love Ultron as a villain,
Right.
and I love James Spader. But
I
the
was
thing
pretty,
is,
I was still excited for that one at that point too. But
the movie as a whole was very disappointing.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah, it did not make my list at all.
Yeah.
No,
Did it make anybody's list?
No.
nope.
Okay. Didn't think
Nope.
so. All right, so I'm not off base there. Okay, number 5 for me was The Punisher from 2004.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad you put that on there.
Thomas Jane was awesome.
He really was.
John Travolta as Howard Saint was even better. I loved because like it was in that weird part of John Travolta's career where he just could not do anything right.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it was this little movie that was not very well promoted. It almost went. It was in theaters, but it was in and out.
Yeah,
I mean, it seemed like it was out
very
for like
quick.
a couple of weeks. And that movie, I think, is severely underrated. I thought that it was
definitely
really
think so.
good.
And you get some Kevin Nash in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, as the Russian.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that my favorite performance, and this guy usually steals a movie for me every time, is Will Patton. Will Patton is, and for the
I'm
life of me,
struggling to think of who that is.
his character's name is escaping me.
Is it like the Bumbo guy or what?
No, it's Howard Saint's best friend.
Oh, yes.
And
Okay.
God damn it! Why
You
did
talking
that
about the
one's
dude
good
from
too.
Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yep. He
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
plays the same character from that movie. Too.
Yeah, basically.
Remember the Titans? He stole the show, in my opinion. Even he was in the new Halloween.
Yeah.
And
He really does that kind of gruff. I can't think of what I'm trying to say here, but
just very matter of fact. It's almost like he grounds it
yeah.
every time. And to see him play a villain was very, very interesting, and a very sadistic villain. Like he's actually a sadist.
Oh yeah.
Like
But it
he
had
loves
kind of a weird
pain.
twist too.
Yeah, very weird. Well, I mean, we can say it. It's been out for 15 years. The Punisher is trying to basically make Howard Saint's life a living hell.
Well, yeah.
And one of the ways that he does it is he sets it up to look like this particular friend. God, I got to look up his name because I'm not going to do it justice.
While you're doing that,
His name is Quentin Glass.
That's it. Yes, Quentin. They basically imply, like, it's made to look like Howard Saint's wife cheated on him with Quentin.
Yeah.
What he doesn't know about Quentin is that Quentin is gay.
right.
Yeah.
And whenever she says that in her defense, she's like, Quentin's gay. You would say anything. It's daffy as hell. But but it's actually a lot of fun to watch just his life crumble. And he's almost too stupid to realize what's going on until it's too late. And the performances were really good. It's not a fantastic movie, but it was a fun watch.
It was a fun watch.
You know who I kind of wanted more of in that movie? The singer. He's one of the assassins that comes before the Russian.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
kind of got that
Yes.
like Elvis thing.
Yeah.
The
He
guy
looked
that's
like
he brought
such a
knife to
cool
gunfight.
character.
He
Yeah.
reminds me of El Mariachi from Desperado.
Yeah, like I feel like that could have been a whole movie between the two of them.
Well, that would have been fun.
That would have been a great one.
Who's
Yeah.
the guy that sells the guitars on infomercials?
What?
Sells the guitars on infomercials.
Yeah, it's like a Spanish player, Esteban. It kind of reminded me of him.
Got
I guess
nothing.
nobody
No
else
idea.
knows
No
about
fucking
that.
idea.
Nope.
No clue.
Yeah. Okay. So
So number 4 it is then.
Okay, what is your number 4, Spence?
Thor Ragnarok, because honestly, it is the best one in the Thor trilogy that we have. The first one's really good. The second one kind of felt like
Sucks.
they just lost
Phoned it in.
Yeah.
I think we'll
But,
add the Dark World to the Wall
Yeah.
of Shame.
I think that
Yeah.
one suffers from a lack of good villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would agree with
definitely.
And they were
Yeah.
trying to build a whole Jane thing too much.
There was no direction.
Yeah.
It just didn't
Yeah.
seem like
was just all over,
the,
yeah.
the first Thor and the third Thor were fairly straightforward.
that.
Whereas
It had a
Dark
plot.
World was very disappointing.
Yeah.
And part of the reason I love Ragnarok so much is that we kind of get a Planet Hulk
Yes.
movie
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. The Beta Ray Bill Easter egg on the tower it's panning in and all that. I can never pronounce the director's name, but him playing was it Korg?
Oh, Taika Waititi?
Yeah, he is just hilarious.
Yeah. Piss off, Ghost.
Yeah, just the dynamic between the Hulk, the Hulk and Thor, whether
Yeah.
it's in Avengers or Ragnarok or whatever, it's always great. And for them to get basically a buddy movie,
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's great.
greatest.
And fucking Goldblum's in it too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's
He's great.
He's basically just playing himself.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what I
Which
thought.
is all you really need out
Yeah.
of any performance
Oh.
of his.
Ian Malcolm is in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And little fun fact that I actually just found out last week that Chris Hemsworth, I guess, was doing an interview, and they asked him what his favorite line in any Thor movie was, and he said it was the line in Ragnarok where he says, "It's a friend from work."
Yeah.
He
Oh,
said
yeah.
that they
Yeah.
had I believe he said it was a terminally
Make-A-Wish.
ill child on set that
Yep.
day, and he shouted that out that he should say that, and they put that in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Isn't he just the coolest guy alive? I mean, he's
Probably.
just
He's
he's
up
so
there.
cool.
Yeah.
And let's not forget. I mean, anything he did on the movie is great, but I think it was all overshadowed by Endgame, and we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
I could see us spending an inordinate amount of time on that one. So
Yeah.
just Thor in Endgame is just one.
It's amazing.
My favorite line in that movie comes from Thor. So I will reveal that next week.
Can I go next? For number 4?
Sure.
Yep.
It's Thor Ragnarok.
Just trying to save us some time,
Yeah,
aren't you?
just trying to,
But why?
streamline it here.
Why?
For a lot of the reasons he said, but I also really enjoyed, I think it's Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie character.
Oh yeah.
And just that, she's a badass.
She's awesome
but
in
like
everything,
She's,
yeah.
she's like really kind of, it's not a really over the top comedic role, but she had a lot of really funny moments. But also came off as just a total badass.
Oh yeah.
And I really liked the back kind of, the expansion of the mythos as far as the Valkyries actually as characters, and I really enjoyed it. So
It's almost like they did Ragnarok to make up for Dark World, because Dark World's story was shit, and we had two
Yeah.
really awesome
Yeah.
storylines in Ragnarok.
Yeah, I agree.
You're up.
All right. My number 4 is Infinity Wars.
you just like Avengers movies, don't you?
I do. Yeah, I do.
It's the next
but the
one,
other-
Civil War. Or,
the
no,
only
never
one
mind.
no, it's
The
not.
next one's not Age of Ultron.
Nope. I liked the Infinity War because you really see the whole dynamic minus Captain Marvel of their team from the good to the bad. So I mean, that's the biggest thing that I remember.
Fucking Chris Pratt.
Yeah. So it's very eye opening about everything just coming together and them coming together while also having their differences and seeing that kind of struggle there too. So yeah, that's why I made my list.
Okay.
Okay. My number 4 is Logan.
Damn it.
Yeah.
See, I would like to put that on my list.
Again, just for its transformative value.
Yeah.
I mean, we finally got to see something really, really super dark and serious out of those characters.
That's fucking incredible.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you've got these movies that are great comic book movies, and then you have movies that happen to be comic book movies that are just great movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dark Knight falls
Yeah,
into this
exactly.
category. Logan, and it's a very short list.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically
The Dark Knight.
It's anything that gives a truly human aspect
Yes.
to the superhero.
And I think that Logan took the concept of Wolverine and the X-Men, flipped it on its head, made it meta, because they, it was basically like everything you've known up until now out of that first canon, it all ends now.
Right.
And it's almost like, you see references to the comic book. It's almost like that's happening on the other side.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. Depressing as hell.
Yeah. Not a happy watch.
Through the whole thing. I mean, it's a very rough. And the thing that sticks out to me was that first trailer they put out, that they set it to Hurt, the Johnny Cash Hurt cover.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that this movie
Yeah.
was going to be heavy.
I will
And-
tell you, this is on my list.
Okay, good. It should be.
It should have been on my list.
I think it should be on everybody's. Well, we listened.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't listening.
We'll make it an honorary member for you.
Okay.
That should-
Honorary.
yeah.
And I think that it also corrects a lot of things that were done from the first two Wolverine movies.
Oh,
which
yeah.
which were not good. So that's
Okay.
that's
yeah.
my number 4. Spence, number 3, you're up.
My number 3, and you guys are going to be surprised it's not much higher on the list, but is Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
Honestly, it's the best representation of Spider-Man I think we've ever had.
Spider-Verse.
Well, as far as live action
Oh, okay. Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Mans go, it is the best.
See, you just have to break things, don't you? Like, why do you do that?
This is just who I am. This
I
is my
guess so.
personality, guys.
Continue.
But it's partly due to the fact also it's a crossover with the MCU, and we get Tony Stark, and we get Michael Keaton as the Vulture, which was an amazing
He's great.
performance for him.
Yeah.
Great and everything.
Yeah, which we talked about last week.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, just getting to see kind of like some of the stuff that happened outside of the Avengers stuff and how it affected other people in that universe. Obviously leading him to becoming the Vulture. It just kind of gives you a little more insight on the whole thing. And I felt like it was just just really great movie.
Okay. Brandon.
Well, do you want to go to the original order? Oh, yeah,
it's supposed to be
it
the
is the original order. I'm
All right,
sorry.
number 3, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay.
2 in a row for me.
But mine was slightly different. Mine's because you did hit a lot of the same points. It is probably the best representation. But I also love the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man aspect versus
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go defeat every supervillain I can Spider-Man. This is more...
He wasn't saving the world.
Yeah, he wasn't saving the world. He was saving the
Spider-Man
neighborhood.
is not Batman.
Right.
We don't need him to be dark and tortured.
Exactly.
You can have serious moments, but whenever you let that take over a movie, I think that's what made Spider-Man 3 suffer. I think that's what made really kind of both of the Andrew Garfield movies suffer a little bit.
I liked the first one better than the second on the Amazing Spider-Man.
I did too.
But I mean, the
There
teen,
were parts of those movies that I loved, though.
Yeah.
the teen angst thing only goes so far.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's, we want you to be, he goes through a tragic thing with the death of
Yeah.
Uncle Ben, but the thing is, you move on from that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about Homecoming was, I don't like it on the aspect of May is not your typical Aunt May. However, on the flip side, I really like Aunt May.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic between her and Tony.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the
It-
sexual
it
tension
just-
there. Oh, my God.
It just makes it wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's fantastic. All right. That's it.
She's great.
You're up.
Okay, my number 3
Spider-Man
is...
Homecoming.
No. It is Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Okay.
Mainly just because it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was.
And when this came out, it was just like it blew up. You had never heard of these characters before.
yeah.
I hadn't really. And they were such fringe characters, but they decided to just kind of go with it.
Just a bunch of fucking misfits.
Yeah, really it is. And, they made them all lovable characters. And they gave them all great personalities that fit together. And then just the soundtrack was amazing, too.
Oh, well,
bringing
yeah.
back all of these old school music
Yeah.
that, no one had really heard from this
Hey.
generation. Yeah. And,
What the
just
matter? Sorry.
cease and desist.
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you with that's also my number 3.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Hey, we have two
It's
matches.
really good. I actually didn't care for the second one, though,
Nah.
that much.
there were things about it that were really good, but it was,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You mentioned how they took these characters that nobody really cared about, really.
Yeah.
Except for hardcore comment. Can't you say the same thing about Iron Man?
True.
Yeah, that's very
Yeah.
true.
They
actually.
took a character. I mean, if
He
if
was
you
a
think,
B-list character at that
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, there was really no. And Mings, Spence is probably going to get offended when I say this. when you look at the DC universe, you've got particularly two characters that could headline that universe.
Oh yeah.
Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
You can make the argument for Wonder Woman now, but
I think they still trump her.
Historically, it's
Yeah.
Superman and Batman.
Yeah.
Depending on what era. Who was it for Marvel before all this started?
Spider-Man.
I'd still say Spider-Man
it
and
really
Captain
was.
America.
No.
But that, yeah.
No.
It's Spider-Man.
At the
No,
level,
that's what I'm saying,
at a
like, that's-
Superman Batman level,
No, there was
name
nobody.
one.
There was nobody.
Exactly. They
But at
had
the
to
same point,
make an anchor.
But that made Spider-Man as a default.
I don't. Well, no, like
There are no
not,
defaults,
Not saying
though.
who was their version.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
who was on that level
Oh, okay.
from
Exactly.
the Marvel universe, and
Yeah,
there was
there was no
nobody.
one.
And that's where I think, it's such an interesting thing to watch because, honestly, if you look at DC, you've got those two top tier.
Yeah.
Where Marvel doesn't have really, or they didn't at that point, anyone there. But at the same time, like after you get out of those two, you kind of go quite
Yeah.
a bit down,
Yeah.
and that's where you've got like all this kind of meat and potatoes with
Yeah.
And-
with
and-
Marvel. They had a ton of like maybe B characters, whereas everybody else was C and
yeah.
D, and
You had your two top A,
in the
and then it went
DC.
down to CDs.
And that's the reason why. And actually, I'm not insulting Marvel when I say that. I'm actually giving them props because the thing is, they took these characters that a lot of people did not care about and turned them into flagship characters. Iron Man, that character is iconic now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Short of Black Sabbath fans, who gave a shit about Iron Man?
Right.
You know what I mean? The Hulk, to a degree, was kind of a big deal, but not at that Batman,
Right.
Superman level.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, I could say the same thing.
Yeah. He
You
was
know?
there. That
Yeah, they
he was
tried.
there.
They
Spider-Man
tried.
was pretty present for years before all the MCU stuff, between like the Tobey Maguire stuff and all the TV series.
Right.
and-
Animated to,
But he still wasn't
Yeah.
A-list.
Exactly. He wasn't at that level where he could carry a franchise, but they made him that good.
Right.
They made Tony Stark is
Well,
Marvel's Bruce Wayne.
they were kind of pulling for Iron Man. I read an article about it, and they said they wanted an unlikable character to be their storefront,
Their storefront.
their attention grabber.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Their anchor.
Yeah, so I think they did it very well. Obviously, I mean,
Well, and I mean, it completely saved one actor's career.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah,
have
it
to
did.
think about, Robert Downey Jr. has been an actor for over 30 years.
Right.
And has pumped out amazing performance. I still say his best performance, hands down, is Chaplin. He was, if you ever get a chance to see Chaplin, if you haven't, it's incredible.
I think my first film with him in it that I watched that I can remember is Iron Man.
Yeah. And, well, that's the start for a lot because the thing is, there for a while, his career was non-existent because
really?
he had he had legal troubles. He was
Oh, yeah,
a
he did.
very,
that's
very
right.
bad addict.
Yeah,
And that guy, and it was because there was a certain amount of people who believed in him.
yeah.
Say what you want about Mel Gibson,
Oh, I like
kind
Mel
of a
Gibson.
piece of shit. He's a good actor, but he's
Yeah.
kind of a piece of shit. The dude saved Robert Downey Jr.'s career because he paid to insure him when the studio wouldn't
yeah.
and helped him out. It's like everybody deserves a second chance. Now, fast forward 11 years later,
Yeah,
because it was really Iron Man was the big start for
yeah,
that. He is now the highest paid actor in Hollywood.
and rightly so.
Yes. He has shown what, somebody at rock bottom can
Yeah,
do.
literal.
If somebody just puts a little bit of faith in him and gives them the right kind, it can identify their strengths.
Yep.
He played that character better than I think anybody ever
Oh yeah,
could.
I can't imagine anyone else being
No,
Iron Man.
not at all.
Now, eventually, one day there will be another
Oh
Tony
yeah,
Stark.
Yeah.
But it's going to have to be a while.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think if they tried anytime soon, it would just be a flop. Just because people would protest again. Well,
And
not
the,
protest, but
and the thing is, I see us getting very dangerously close
Yes.
to in-game territory, so we need to stop. Spence, number 2.
So for my number 2, I have Captain America: First Avenger. I feel like it was kind of a little bit of redemption for Chris Evans because he went from playing Johnny Storm in the not so great Fantastic Four movies
Which one?
All of them.
Yeah,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
true.
Are there any good ones?
No.
But it kind of redeemed him and brought him in as Steve Rogers, and we got to see like that incredible transformation from the small scrawny Steve Rogers into the regular Chris Evans size Steve Rogers, and got to see him kick some Nazi ass and then
I wanna say
ultimately
something so
sacrifice
bad.
himself for his best friend.
That's America's ass.
Damn it! I was gonna say it, but I was like, oh, it could be. All right.
Sorry, Spence. Go ahead.
Spoilers, guys.
That's what I was
That's
like,
not
I'm
a
gonna say
spoiler.
anything.
That's yeah.
But no,
Damn
that's
it.
basically all I have. And it was one of those ones too that was in the first kind of set of
The first
movies that
wave.
set up the MCU, and
Yeah.
you can't really have MCU without Captain America anyway.
So Captain America was the first Avenger, right? But at the end of Captain Marvel, which Captain Marvel's been out long enough, we can actually talk about it. At the end of Captain Marvel, he creates the Avenger plan. So would you argue that she was technically the first Avenger?
No.
No?
I
Yeah,
didn't think
I'd
about
say
that.
no. But at the same time,
You know what I mean, though?
I see your point.
He wasn't
but no.
considered an Avenger back in the first movie. It wasn't until he was brought off ice. So technically, I think Tony Stark would be the first Avenger.
Well, but the thing is, I think that what they were trying to do with that, chronologically, who existed first?
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
You don't want to read too much into that. That was actually a great subtitle for that movie,
Right.
because it was like, okay, we're bringing in the old guy, so this is kind of where it all begins. At the end of the day, that's where the story begins because you've got Howard Stark there.
Right.
So, Tony doesn't have a presence, but the Stark family does.
Right.
And you cannot tell me that Howard and Tony are not pretty much the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got the
Yeah.
same, the same tenacity, obviously the same knowledge. Both are very, very, they
Very
were
smart.
They were gods of industry in their own respective times,
Okay.
So good one.
Where you at, Brandon? Number 2.
Number 2 is your guys' number 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1.
All right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I really, really enjoyed it because it was a bunch of nobodies that no one cared about. And then all of a sudden it was like, hey, we're going to work together. And it was just fucking amazing. Soundtrack too. The soundtrack, it was just awesome.
I think the soundtrack is the star of that movie, but I will tell you now, because of that movie and because of what has come since, Drax is possibly my favorite Marvel character. I love
He's great. Yeah.
dude. He is.
I'm moving so
and
slowly, you can't. It's imperceptible.
did you ever see? There was a thing. A kid. There was a kid that put out. It was like an open letter to Dave Bautista. The kid had autism. And he said, I want to thank you for bringing that character to life because you are me. I don't understand sarcasm. I am very, and Dave Bautista actually reached back out to the kid. And it was very touching. It almost
That's
brought
awesome.
a tear to my eye. I mean, like,
I'm gonna
I
have
was
to look
like,
that up.
these guys, let's not forget, not to bring this to a screeching halt, but let's not forget what these people do, these actors. We can all make jokes about how they're overpaid clowns and all that bullshit. And in a way, they kind of are. But the thing is, let's not forget that what they are doing is not insignificant
Oh yeah, I
at
agree.
all. And I'll put that even on the DC side as well. These characters mean a lot to people.
Yeah.
And even outside of the character, even outside the movies, I mean, you're seeing more and more of these actors that don't have to give a shit.
No.
But they go out anyways, and they're visiting hospitals.
Wow.
And they're, whenever the Batman massacre happened, Christian Bale went out.
Yeah, Christian Bale went and visited victims
Yeah.
at their hospital
And
beds.
he didn't have to.
Yeah, that was actually on my mind whenever you said that.
Yeah,
And
so I feel like that's an awesome story about Batista. I mean,
these people have been given, even though they work very hard,
yes.
and it is very much a labor of love. They are very well paid, but it's still, it's a big time investment. They have been given a gift
Oh, yeah.
by having notoriety and by being beloved. And I can tell you, with the exception of maybe Brie Larson, which time will tell on that, but with the exception of maybe that, everybody's been really, really cool with their stardom.
Yeah.
Even the top of the top, Robert Downey Jr., the dude sending video messages to people and stuff like, these guys don't have to do this.
Right, exactly.
But they do it because they love their fans and they understand this gift that they've been given comes with a certain level. With great power comes great responsibility there.
That is the perfect quote for that.
They've been given this gift and they are using their powers for good.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. So
can we go back to Guardians of the Galaxy 1 real quick?
Sure.
Another one of my favorite parts of that is the casting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, Dave Bautista. I mean,
I'm saying you put Dave Bautista. You're putting
Misfits.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah.
Casting him for
with
voice
one
roles.
line.
I am Groot.
And then you're using Bradley Cooper as a voice actor.
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana, who's pretty good in everything.
And by the way, does he sound like Bradley Cooper?
No,
No.
not at all.
No.
Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was until a few months ago.
Unbelievable how
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
he does not sound like
The
himself.
casting of that was fantastic.
That's the definition of voice acting.
Yeah.
You don't
You
get
don't
that
know.
from a lot of Hollywood people.
Right.
They just do their own voice and throw in maybe a little, you know, you get Mike Myers with a Scottish accent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then you listen to Rocky Raccoon and you're like,
Who's playing that?
yeah.
That's Rocket. That's Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rocket, sorry.
Wait, what'd you say?
Rocky.
Rocky, yeah.
Rocky. Well, I mean, Rocky
Bullwinkle
and Bullwinkle,
showing
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, continue on.
I think
we're
we
ready
should move on.
Is it my number 2?
All right, Bullwinkle, go.
Oh yeah, it is my number 2. Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so much fucking fun.
It is fun.
And I mean, Paul Rudd's amazing.
Oh, he is.
I love Paul Rudd in basically everything.
Aging backwards.
It really
I
is.
will
It's
repeat
ridiculous, yeah. But another character that Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like fucking Ant-Man. But they just made it so good. And it's
funny.
Yeah, the movie is hilarious. Who is the Hispanic guy?
Michael Pena.
Michael Pena.
I
yes.
was literally getting ready to say, I honestly
his-
feel like he stole the show. In
He
Ant-Man.
does, yes. Like, there were a lot of memes after that movie came out. Like, can we just like watch a movie before? And I think it was before like Infinity War at that point.
Yeah.
Like before Infinity War, let's just have a summary by him.
Yeah.
Of all of everything that's happened so far. Just a great movie, and the special effects and the way they were able to make it interesting and seem, not insignificant.
Yeah.
In a way, and it was just great.
And
That was a good one.
I will even say, to tie in that character, I think that, again, without spoilers, going back to Endgame, I think that if you were going to give a most improved player award to one of those characters, it would have to go to
exactly.
because
Yeah.
he is so crucial to that film.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I would even make the argument that maybe short of Thor, he has the most funny lines in that film.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
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 And it's Paul Rudd delivering.
Paul Rudd is amazing.
Yeah, he is.
Paul Rudd's one of those guys. He can do comedy. He can do well, he's not that great at serious acting, but
He's okay.
see Halloween 6. He is. It's kind of hard to watch at times. he's.
I don't think anything in Halloween 6 is good.
I like.
I didn't
Halloween
either.
6. It's a guilty pleasure. I do plan on doing a bunch of this type of shit in October.
Okay.
So you're probably gonna get sick of me because we're gonna do a lot of. But anyway,
No, go on
it's
vacation in
May,
October.
so dick. All right. Is
You're
it
number
me?
2.
Okay.
Moosins.
Who's number 2 work for?
My number 2. Yeah, you show that to who's boss. My number 2 was my number 1 for a long time.
Oh.
It was X-Men First Class.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, the dynamic of the story shift in the X-Men franchise. We have gotten to see some rising stars there. The three anchors of that obviously are James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and Jennifer Lawrence.
Fassbender's so fucking good.
He is, yes. I think that is probably the biggest casualty from the reboot policy if they carry it through.
Yeah. Losing him as Magneto.
Because I want to see what he's capable of. Well,
He makes you
we've
root.
already
He's-
kind of seen.
Like he's the bad guy, and you root for the bad guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it gives him a human aspect beforehand.
I mean, he wasn't really in First Class. He wasn't so much
Right.
the bad
Yeah, I was
guy.
gonna say they kind of gave him more of an anti-hero
Yeah,
storyline
yeah,
in that.
but Kevin Bacon, speaking of bad guys, was really
Oh,
good
he was
in that, too.
incredible.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the way that he dies in that film is just excruciating. It's like it's hard to watch, but
Yeah.
at the same time you're like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. The revenge.
Yeah.
and it's a justified death. It is a justified death.
Yep.
I really like
do
how they.
love-
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I do love they tied it into the original series by having that same opening from the first X-Men.
Yes, yeah. They mirror each other. The very
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
X-Men starts with they're outside the concentration camp.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
And
yeah.
Eric like fucks up the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
And they recreated that
Yeah.
for
Yeah, that was cool.
so I thought that was really cool. A lot of really classic scenes in that. I think McAvoy is just he's awesome.
He's great
too.
in everything.
That's probably my second favorite performance by him, as far as anything Xavier, short of what he has done
and Split.
in Split and Glass.
Yeah.
He is that dude should be given an Oscar every year for the rest of his life for what he has done in those movies.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about those. We're talking about Marvel.
Hey,
So
those are superhero movies.
yeah, they are, but they're not Marvel. They're very creative.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Don't talk to me
Fucking
like
shock,
I'm
man.
Come
Don't
on.
insult me, Joe.
Like-
I've seen
We've talked about
multiple movies.
Like that's
before.
not a fair question.
it. We've talked about it.
Have we? I don't
Yes.
remember.
Which is why I said that.
Okay.
We're going to end up talking about that trilogy, I think, at some point.
Oh, we should.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I'm cool with
it's
that.
definitely worth. I was a big fan of Unbreakable when it
I was
first
too.
came out.
Yeah.
And to find out that it was going to become something,
See, I didn't know it was going to become something. I thought it was just like
No one
Unbreakable.
knew.
And then it was like, oh, that's
nobody knew until Split came out.
Yeah.
They kept it quiet. And
Well, see,
I love.
I didn't realize Split until after I'd watched it and then went on to Facebook that it was actually a sequel
Yeah.
to Unbreakable. Like I had no idea they were in the same universe. So,
Anyway, we're going to dive
Off of
into
that.
that.
Yeah.
Off of that.
We
another day, another podcast.
because I do want to take one more break within the next 13 minutes. So we'll move
Why?
on.
Just
right
bang
before
it
our
out.
number ones.
bang it out.
No. Like we can get the number ones
Okay. Well,
knocked out first. That's what I was saying. Let's do the number ones and then we'll take a break. So Spence, number one, make it good.
Well, yeah, you guys are already going to hate it because you said you didn't like it anyway. But I actually have Guardians 2 as my number one, and there is a very good reason why.
I need to know this reason.
Please.
Are you in love with like Kurt Russell or something?
No, it was the funeral scene at the end. It was kind of the first time watching any of these movies that you like had that real emotional attachment to somebody, and that was also like the first time that one of these movies has made me cry, during the ending.
I'm blanking. What was this again?
Yondu's funeral
Yeah, it's
when the
Oh,
Ravagers
okay.
I did-
I was going to
Yes.
give him the floor
Yeah.
to spoil that.
You know,
but
I didn't
yeah.
have the emotional attachment to him at all.
I did like Yondu a lot, but
Yeah, he's a great character, and Michael Rooker's an amazing.
oh
actor.
yeah, and
Oh, yeah,
I
no.
do like a lot of aspects of that movie.
Would you like a chocolate covered pretzel?
Yeah. But like like the I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. That was
Yeah.
great. But
Yeah.
I think the overall was
But that and like a teen angsty Groot or whatever, kind of
Yeah,
maybe I'm
that was funny.
yeah, but kind of giving them
I am
all
Groot. Whoa.
But yeah. So like I said, being kind of one of the ones that you lose one of your favorite characters and have that emotional attachment to. I put it at number one because I felt like it was kind of the most emotional the first of the most emotional movies that they did, where they kind of really hit you with that one last punch before they go.
Before we started doing this podcast, I had a philosophy that everything is just a matter of perspective, that everybody can have an opinion and
yeah.
nobody's wrong.
Well, now
And from the jump with Spence, it started with Jar Jar Binks, continued with Batman Forever's not that bad.
Wrong.
Spider-Man 3.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not.
I love you, buddy. You're one of my best friends, but you have horrible judgment.
You have a guy who has horrible
But again,
judgment.
though, like I said, with the Batman Forever, it comes with a lot of nostalgia as a kid, like that.
Stop defending it. Stop
Jim
it.
Carrey's speech at the time.
Stop it.
I'm just saying.
I know. I want you to stop saying.
I didn't say it was the best.
No, you know what? He's entitled to his horribly flawed opinion. Number one. Sorry.
My number one
love you,
is
Spence.
Logan.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just from the very get-go. First off, I love Johnny Cash. So the cover, whenever the trailer was hit, I knew right then and there I had to watch that movie the day it came out, and I did. That was one of the very few movies I went to opening night.
I think we saw it opening weekend. I don't know if we went opening night, but we went opening weekend.
Secondly, is Wolverine's always been my favorite superhero. Period. From the get-go, and then the whole him being more humanized and actually showing him aging and so showing him dying. I mean, it's just
Whoa!
spoiler. I mean, it was just fantastic. It's
You son of a bitch.
that's definitely not my number one in the Marvel everything.
By the way, welcome back, Curtis. He said, and I'm back. And also, Zach Rister announced himself as we
I saw
walked in.
that.
We completely talked over it. So, sorry, Zach.
He missed the interactive part, so that's on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have a little bit more of that after the break. So,
All right, Mingsy, you're up.
yep. Number one.
Captain America, Winter fucking Soldier.
Okay.
I knew that was going to be your number one.
I kind of.
Because I've been talking about it for
Yeah.
2 weeks for
Yeah.
some reason. It keeps coming up.
It's not a bad choice.
It's not a bad
It's
choice.
the best
No.
choice.
Well, you may be wrong. So
I'm not wrong. Sorry.
It's not on anybody else's list at all.
I don't give a shit. You're wrong.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't even need to say anything. Watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I mean, it was good. I'll give
I'll
her
agree
to
with
that.
that.
Yeah, it was really good.
It was also it was another one of those kind of transformative movies.
Yeah.
It was, you have, I mean, obviously nothing is going to be as transformative as what we just experienced, but you have those like before and after moments.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Something that changes the entire universe.
Yeah. That's valid.
I think it's one of those that without them being superheroes, it's still a good movie.
Yes. Absolutely. Number one, something I'm actually kind of shocked about, nobody said Civil War. It was
I thought
actually
Civil War was a little overrated.
Really?
Everybody said it was like the best thing, and I thought,
I think it should have been an Avengers movie.
yeah,
yeah.
it should have been.
The fact
it was good, but the story was a little weak on the Bucky side of it for me.
Yeah, I think the fact that it was almost like it was misadvertised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's a
Mistitled.
Captain American title instead of.
Yeah.
But anyway, my number one is a little bit outside the box because I think everybody. No, you had Logan,
Yeah.
but these two had MCU titles.
Blade Trinity.
No,
I hope not.
Do you guys want to take a guess?
I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Kick ass.
No,
Spider-Man 1.
it's
Gunk.
no.
What?
What is wrong
Hey,
with
he said
you?
take a guess. I just figured I'd say it.
You've heard me shit on all three movies,
I
three of
know.
those movies repeatedly. Why
Almost
would
on
it-
every podcast.
Yeah, and I will continue. Fuck Jar Jar Binks. But anyway, it's surprisingly not present on anybody's list.
We'll continue.
Deadpool.
Oh,
No.
okay.
I love me some Deadpool, and the reason why is because one, it's hilarious.
It's
It
hilarious.
is.
Yeah.
It's a comic book movie for grown-ups, and I know that we have more of that now, but I still don't feel like we have enough. I think that comic book movies, they don't have to be universal. You can have something for everyone. You can
Yeah.
have- you don't want to take your kids to see Deadpool.
Well, no.
That's okay.
I remember someone did take their kid, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it, bitch! It's rated R. What do you think's gonna happen?"
It is very rated R. But I loved it. I loved Deadpool 2 as well. And even Once Upon a Deadpool,
Right.
is a lot of fun just because of the cutscenes and the fact that they make it very meta in that we're cutting it down to make it PG-13 and here's how. And it's kind of funny how they do it.
I literally saw a woman arguing that movie was absolute shit because they took out everything that made it R-rated.
Well, that woman is full of shit.
Yeah.
It was, but the first one, I think that it was like we all kind of knew what to expect, and you were still kind of kicked in the nuts by it, and it's great.
I don't think I had no idea what to expect with it.
Really?
I'm actually the same.
Yeah. And also it made up for a very, very bad. And I'll add this. This is the third movie I'm going to add to the Wall of Shame. Is X-Men Origins
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh God.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will do that. Just you can pick apart flaws all over that movie.
Hold on.
Okay.
That movie minus the first opening credit sequence.
Okay, fine. And I actually like Liev Schreiber a lot.
Yeah.
But I will say you can pick a million reasons why it should be up there. Let's just put it up there for the way they treated Wade Wilson.
Yep.
Because when you first get introduced to the character in that movie, looks like they're going on kind of, he's got a smart mouth and,
I thought they were going the right direction.
And then they took away his ability to speak. Are you out of your minds?
and
they used it
put
as
swords in his arms.
and they used it as a plot point. They said, "Oh, he finally found a way to shut you up."
No.
They used it just for a joke, I feel like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what
Somebody
it is.
really liked that joke.
And they're like, "Oh,
and
we
they,
should do
they
it."
like wrote
I've
a
got a lot of
story
money.
to make that joke fit.
Deadpool's asset, the reason why he is known is because of his mouth.
Yeah.
He's called a merc with a mouth.
Yeah.
And they completely shat all over that character. So I think that Deadpool almost deserves number one because it almost took Deadpool almost to the brink where you couldn't bring it back. And Ryan Reynolds fought his ass off to get that movie back so that he
And it
could
redeemed
make his
him from Green Lantern.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
That's how transformative that movie is that not
No.
only did it save...
You can't compare it to that.
Yes, I can. Fuck yes, I can. And
you
I'll tell
compare
you why.
the movie itself, but
He's not comparing the movies. He's saying that's why it brought back Deadpool, but it also brought back Ryan Reynolds.
It
Well,
went
yeah.
into
It brought back
another-
Ryan Reynolds, yeah, for sure.
It went into another universe
Right.
and made up for something.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's, and the fact that they are able to laugh their asses off at Green
Yeah,
Lantern.
I did
even.
like a lot of the meta humor in that movie.
Oh, dude, it's great.
It's very good.
It didn't even make my top 10.
I think
That's fine.
I think one of my favorite parts is when at the very end where he saved the day, and he's got Hugh Jackman's People magazine picture stapled onto his face when he pulls up the mask.
Wall of Shame.
That was
Green
one of my
Lantern.
favorite gags in the movie.
I still like the line about David Beckham. He sounds like he face fucked a tank full of helium.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that for some reason.
And also, there's a key of cocaine on the floor. It's right next to the cure for blindness.
Yeah.
And then they call back to it in the second movie because you see it. There's a big block of cocaine, and then a box that says the cure for blindness.
Yeah.
Well, he puts the coke in his mask and then just punches himself in the face to try to OD.
They're just like those entire. You know what? I'm going to break a rule. I'm even going to lump Deadpool 2 in there.
Okay,
I'm going to lump
whatever.
Deadpool 1 and 2 as a unit in there.
I don't
because
think we had
both-
rules, but all right.
Yeah.
Well, like,
I made it just so I could break it.
that's right.
We didn't say top 6.
Because I love both of those movies so much. They're so good. So
The next top 5 we should do,
yes,
the top worst Marvel movies or worst comic book movies.
I think that because we all agreed on what went on that hypothetical wall of shame, I think
Yeah, but we haven't ranked them.
we've kind of blown our wad on that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to
I don't
worst
think we
yet.
need
Oh,
to
okay.
rank them, though. They're all about equally terrible.
No, there's some that are fucking horrible. And there are some that are just like pretty bad.
Yeah. So
All right, no worst yet, I guess.
Shot down.
Womp.
Crystal Schuler said Wall of Shame, Green Lantern.
Agreed.
We're saving the Wall of Shame this week just for Marvel movies, but if we were doing an overall superhero, I would definitely agree with that. Curtis Bennett said Daredevil. Does that mean you like Daredevil, or does that mean that it belongs on the Wall of Shame?
I think
We weren't
that's
talking about
not
Wall
as
of Shame
bad
yet.
as anybody, as most people think.
The director's cut is actually really good.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first R-rated superhero movies. The director's cut was actually R-rated
Yeah.
because of violence.
I kind of like Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin too.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was great.
Colin Farrell really hammed it up. I didn't like his, but
That was the downfall. I think that Jennifer Garner showed a lot of potential, and then Elektra
they
just
ruined it.
Yeah, it just completely.
I don't know if it
destroyed
was necessarily her fault that Elektra got ruined, but
Oh no, I don't think so either. I
Yeah.
think that was a bad script.
It was just
yeah.
But yeah,
And that's what I
actually
kind of
don't hate
attribute to
Daredevil.
Daredevil not being
don't
as
hate
good as it
Daredevil.
could have been.
Yeah,
I don't hate Daredevil. It was an okay movie.
it was mediocre.
Yeah.
Curtis Bennett said he loves it. So
Oh, cool. There you go.
that's valid.
The movie
I'm
and the
fine with that.
series.
That's
Yeah.
valid.
I have not watched the Daredevil series. So
I think
So
if
good.
you're a big, like if you're like maybe he is a big Daredevil fan, I could see really liking the Daredevil
series.
movie because
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean-
it has its issues. But
yeah,
otherwise
it was okay.
Wasn't
it gets
Jo-
it gets a lot of unfair crap.
Wasn't
Yeah.
John Favreau in that as well? He didn't direct
He was
it,
the
but
best. He was
Think-
the friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he played.
What is his name? I wanted to say Happy Hogan, but that's
Yeah.
also John Favreau, but not in that movie. I can't remember the guy's name. His partner,
I mean,
Foggy.
It's
Foggy.
is he
Yeah.
same-
Foggy Nelson. That's it.
Is
Who
it
was-
the same character?
That yeah. That
Okay, see, I
that's
don't remember-
Fulton
I don't
from the
remember.
Mighty
Yeah.
Ducks.
Because I remember
series.
Foggy Nelson
Yeah.
from the TV series, but I didn't know
Yeah.
it was the same character he was playing.
Yep,
there.
same
And
guy.
That was his name. And okay, all right, cool.
So that's our top 5 for this week. I think we're going to take another quick break. We'll come back at 10 after 8, and we're going to do a couple more things, and I think we're going to wrap it up. We want to be off by 9,
Yeah,
so that
before GOT.
people can watch Game of Thrones. So we're going to take off for a minute.
Fucking shit up.
I'm not even going to put up a graphic. We're just going to leave it up. You guys can talk. I'm going to turn the mics off, but we'll be back.
Oh, I'm gonna piss.
Yeah.
I'll be here. But you okay. Grab me a water.
So you guys get to stare at us doing nothing. So anyway, we'll be back at 8:10.
Visit our website, nerdjab.com.
NerdJab.com.
Check out our new shirts.
Yes. Hello.
And
We're back. From outer space.
That 10 minutes went by very quick.
Yeah,
I was
it did.
actually kind of shocked. Thank you for hanging out with us and sticking around watching An Empty Room. Curtis asked, what's the next topic of discussion? Curtis, you guys decide. What else do you want to hear from us tonight? Because we don't have much else. I said we were going to do something after the break, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember either.
You had
actually.
something
Surprises.
planned. I don't know.
Yeah, you said you had a surprise.
I don't remember.
Surprise! We don't remember.
Surprise.
It was-
I have Alzheimer's. Oh, wow. Josh Shipley said, just want to pop in and say hi from the West Coast. Hi, Josh.
on the West Coast.
Joshua.
He grew up right across the street from me.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice.
Well, thank you for representing the
West Coast.
West Side.
Easy now.
You're gonna get us some beef, Joe.
I guess I will bring up the one wrestling story that I heard. Closing the door.
Yeah.
So, a few weeks ago, we talked about how happy we were that Brock Lesnar was gone. He's back. He will be
Womp, womp.
he will be at the next Saudi Arabia event with Goldberg.
Can they leave him there?
Yeah, we hope.
What?
And apparently, the story is that he was wanting a flat payment to fight Daniel Cormier in UFC. That doesn't happen. You get paid based on whether or not you win,
Yeah.
but then also
Like the take and all that.
yeah, but the buy rate. And Dana White said no, so he goes, okay, well, I'm retired.
Okay.
So
Peace.
and has gone back to WWE. So
Bye,
Well, I
Felicia.
don't think it's a huge loss to the UFC, and I feel sorry for WWE fans.
well, he's fighting Stipe in the next fight, so I think that's going to be. I think that would be a better fight. Him and Daniel Cormier. I think that would be a better fight anyway than watching Brock Lesnar basically beach whale him. So, other than that, I really don't have anything else wrestling related. Do you guys have anything else?
kinda
Other
banking
than I
on your
watched Fighting
surprise.
with Your Family this weekend, no. Or Fighting with My Family, I guess it's called.
Yeah, I have that. I need to watch it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I heard that it's
Really good.
very well written and very well directed. It was written and directed by Stephen Merchant, so it's
Who
a
was also
wrestling.
in
Yeah.
Logan.
Yeah, he was Caliban in
Yeah.
Logan. He's a great writer. And did you ever watch Hello Ladies, his show on HBO?
No, but I do like him. Idiot Abroad.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
He also did a show called Life's Too Short with Warwick Davis
Yes,
and
yeah.
and Ricky Gervais. Gervais.
Yeah.
Gervais.
Which
He
speaking
also
of Ricky,
co-created The Office with him as well.
yeah. Speaking of Ricky Gervais, have you watched Afterlife on Netflix?
No.
You'd probably like it.
Would I?
Yeah, I think you
I'll
would.
check it out.
It sounds familiar, but I don't know if I've
It's
seen it or not.
it's very depressing,
Oh, I should watch that.
but in an interesting way. So
I agree, Curtis Bennett. Brock Lesnar did not belong in UFC either. Brock Lesnar needs to just get out of
go
the
away.
limelight.
That's why I said leave him
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, just go away. You don't deserve the fame you have. You deserve the money even less, and we just want you to fuck off. I really don't like him. Like and it's sad
Nobody
because
does.
the thing is, he does have potential, but he won't let his ego get out of the way. He's not a hard worker.
No,
Like there are no redeeming qualities to him being there. He used to be a draw back when he was young and hungry, and now he's just old and entitled. And I just don't want to see him anywhere. I don't want to see him in the Octagon. I don't want to see him in WWE. I just want him to go away.
yep.
And sadly, WWE just it's like they're in an abusive relationship.
Dying.
Curtis says that he was upset about Jim Carrey being cast into Sonic.
I have the opposite effect. I am actually pretty
I do
excited
too.
about it.
I think it's the only thing that could possibly redeem it, but time will tell.
Yeah.
I had no strong feelings one way or another on the news of casting, but I'm not so certain about it.
Curtis said awful fit. I mean, but who would be a good fit for that role?
Right.
Someone you don't know.
Danny
Someone
DeVito.
off the streets.
Danny
Danny
DeVito.
DeVito. Shapely, yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to
Trade in the Riddler
Frank.
for the Penguin.
No, he just needs to play it as Frank.
There you go.
Frank from It's Always Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
I saw something the other day that had a picture of James Marsden. Is that the guy's name?
Yeah.
It's-
Yeah.
Yeah. So
was in
it showed
Hop.
a picture of him in the movie Hop and a
Driving
picture of
around
him
the
in
CGI
Sonic.
characters.
Yeah.
John
I think it was
Goodman.
something.
John Goodman.
Oh,
I don't think
actually-
so.
I think he could do it. I don't necessarily think it'd be a perfect fit for him, but I think he could do it.
I don't think that he can play over the top and whimsical.
I don't
quite
think
I
so
agree.
well.
No,
'Cause
no,
I
no.
think the only time that he really tried to do that in a cartoony way was
Flintstones.
the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
That was at least a better fit.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
as the evil,
I can't picture him playing it.
The only
Not
other
well.
the only other over the top role I can think of him being in was "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?"
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was
well,
great in
he did
that.
that
Yeah, he
one,
was
but
good.
yeah.
Don't you know these things will give you warts? I love him in that. Anything else? Anybody? I think we've officially run out of steam.
Yeah.
Good thing we just took a break.
Yeah, no kidding.
We were really planning on you having your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
I
you
know.
can't remember
I
now.
can't freaking remember what it was, and that bums me out.
It bums us out too.
It's bumming everybody.
I'm sorry. You know what, guys? If I think of it, I'll put it.
Bum.
I'll put it on the Facebook page because that really annoys me. I should have written it down.
You should have written it down. Usually we do have like a program that we're going to be going off of, but as a live stream, usually we have a lot more interaction.
Yeah.
There you go, Brandon. Blame it on them.
I do.
This isn't terrible because of us.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have discussed a new topic over the break. We did. It was called using the bathroom and
Everybody
pizza
had,
rolls.
everybody had to pee. I smoked real quick, not while peeing.
If we didn't have it now, we wouldn't have had it then either. Don't worry.
That's true. We are not that smart. It takes us a week to come up with topics.
Yeah, it does. Well, I mean, and that's the thing. I think that I put, I put way too much dependence on the audience, and that's not an insult to you guys at all. I mean, at the end of the day, this is our show. We need to actually do better.
Well, I mean, I put all my.
Well, we were going to talk about Endgame.
That's exactly right. We were going to talk about Endgame, and then that got halted.
That's what I was planning on today.
It was like gone.
And that was a decision that was made yesterday. I remember. Well, it had kind of been brewing in my head, and all I kept thinking was, there's the whole lifting the ban thing. I was like, whatever. We're going on a day before it lifts. But then I was talking to Brandon. Me and Brandon, we went to go see Batman yesterday, and we went to a couple places. We spent the day together.
We did. We had mandates.
Very wonderful. And yes, Curtis, everything came out all right, except for Mings. We still can't get him to come out. But I remember him and I were in Half Price Books, and I was just like, yeah, we need to talk about tomorrow night.
And I was like, shit, he's going to change something again.
But the thing is, whenever I brought it up, you were like, yeah, it makes sense.
It does. It would be very hard for people popping in and out to not get spoiled if they didn't know.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, the thing is, I'm going to, again, I promise you it will be next week. Next Thursday when the show comes out.
Promise me.
Pinky promise, Joe.
I've been trying to talk about it for 2 weeks now.
I know.
I'm sorry.
And that's the thing is, when we have a band like this, or even a personal band for the show, we want to say so much, and we have to limit what we can say, period, because it could spoil something.
I think that we came very close a couple of times during this show.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we just want to make sure that, we're not running it for somebody, and it's a lot easier to do. If this was recorded, I wouldn't have had a problem talking about it today,
right? Because
it comes out Thursday anyway, and we can say, heads up, if you haven't seen this, don't listen to this. But the thing is, we're live. Again, I don't want somebody to come in the middle of the show, because we don't have people that sit here and listen to us the whole time.
Right.
There's people coming in, there's people leaving, whatever. So I wanted to make sure that we, respected those people as much as possible.
Curtis, I have seen the spinoff series rumors. I believe the author actually commented about or posted something today about it. Apparently, it's actually going to be a thing.
Like he has any clue
read that
what's
there were
going
supposed
on.
to be 3 different ones.
I could
Talking about
believe
Game
it.
of Thrones.
And I'm assuming it stays at HBO.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I would have to, yeah.
I don't think you could do that show on regular cable.
No.
Are you kidding me?
No.
So Curtis brought up Spawn earlier. Have you guys heard about the new movie coming out?
I knew that there was one happening. I just haven't really heard much
heard something
about
it a while ago, I feel like.
I've not heard anything about it. I did hear about Venom 2.
See, I haven't even heard anything about that.
That was a good one, too.
Yeah, Venom was good.
Haven't seen it.
But I guess the rumor is Jamie Foxx is playing Spawn, and Jeremy Renner is playing a detective. I'm not sure the name.
I probably won't watch it.
See, that's the one thing about the Spawn movie from the 90s was that Michael J. White was actually a really good pick for that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that movie
Jamie
was
Foxx
very...
could do it, though.
I don't know.
I just
Well,
don't
the thing
see
is
it.
Spawn won't be talking in this movie. And if he does, it's going to be very, very short lines. Most of it's going to revolve around Jeremy Renner's character.
Okay.
Huh, okay.
So it's a vehicle for Jeremy Renner.
It's going to be very different. And it's actually Todd McFarlane that wrote the script, so this is his vision of the movie.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all for it. I actually didn't hate the first Spawn. I mean, it was...
Neither did I.
It was all right.
Yeah, it was
fine.
good.
Yeah.
It had flaws, but I think that,
For what it was.
I think it was very well casted. I mean,
Yeah.
John Leguizamo's
He's
fantastic
great.
as the
Yeah.
Violator. He's fantastic in it. But yeah, I think that Jamie Foxx, man, I just don't see.
I don't see that.
The guy that I would go to for that, honestly, if I was going to put my finger on one and say this guy would make good Spawn, I think Idris Elba. I think I would like to see him.
You could do that with anything for him.
I know he's
James Bond.
They're talking about him for James Bond.
He needs to be fucking James Bond.
Yeah,
Chris Hemsworth said he wanted to be James Bond.
I think everybody wants to be James Bond.
I want to be James Bond.
Do you know the one that I had heard that they were talking about? Cillian Murphy.
Huh.
That's outside the box.
Yeah, it is.
But I could see him doing it more than Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Idris Elba, I think it would be interesting.
Idris Elba just fits.
I think that they would almost have to reboot it, though, if they did that.
Well, they're all kind of reboots.
Yeah.
Well, starting with Casino Royale. Casino Royale was kind of the restart. But, okay, so here's what confuses me about James Bond. So, they rebooted with Casino Royale. They started it all over.
right.
But M is Judi Dench, who became M in GoldenEye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was like, are you rebooting or aren't you?
I think that she just did a good job. Her
Yeah.
character did a good job.
Yeah.
In Goldfinger. So
Okay, I'm going to throw it out
GoldenEye.
there. I'm going to steal it again.
do it.
Top 5 James Bond movies next week.
I can't do that.
Why?
'Cause I haven't watched a lot of James Bond movies. It's not something I'm really that into.
Okay, fine.
I haven't watched much after GoldenEye, to be honest. Growing up, my stepdad used to watch the older ones a lot more. So, if anything, most of mine would probably be them.
I've probably seen maybe 5.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen all of them.
Okay, well, congratulations. You can do your own.
What a dick you are. Okay, fine. All right, I'll make it easier. Would it be easier if we ranked the James Bonds?
No.
I haven't seen them.
Okay.
How's he going to do
What
that?
else to do? They're all tied for first and last.
Number 1, James Bond. Number 2, James Bond. Number 3, James Bond.
James
Number
Bond.
4, Bubble Boy.
God, I still laugh at that.
That takes funniest line of the week last week.
Yeah,
that
that
was
was for sure the
God
funniest.
damn it, that was so funny.
You're welcome.
Guy I
Four
worked
Bubble
with
Boy.
was listening to it, and he said his favorite line was when we were talking about the lady that was crying hysterically, and somebody asked how many cats she had, and
That was mine.
yeah,
Yep.
Brandon,
What?
yeah, whoever answered all of them.
No, yeah. Someone said all of them, and then Justin was like, there's Bucky.
And this is
Tony.
It was
Yeah,
good stuff.
God, well, we got to come up with a top 5 next week,
We don't have to.
or should we just give him another homework assignment?
We can do a homework assignment.
But nothing's really. I've been the one shocking you guys this week with shit that
know.
I haven't seen.
we can think of something.
Well,
Yeah.
if he hadn't seen Batman '89 till the other day, have you seen Batman Returns?
Yes.
Okay.
What? Why?
I didn't get a chance to watch Batman, and then the first one I watched was Batman Returns.
Because I told him, I was like, they're showing Batman Returns on Monday. We can come back. And he said he couldn't. But the thing is, I was like, because if you haven't seen 89, you definitely haven't seen Returns. He goes, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck does that happen?
I just didn't get a chance to watch it.
Fair enough. I mean, I
Too
guess.
busy.
I don't.
Since 1989.
Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, you only had 30 years.
Hey, shit happens.
We just haven't had a chance, guys.
30 years isn't long enough.
Oh man, where's the time
Okay,
go?
so let's. My sister just joined, so now's a good time to tell her happy birthday.
Happy birthday! And that's it.
That was creepy.
And that first-
So you know what? Let's throw it out to the audience. What do you guys think we should do as our top 5 for next week?
Yeah, that's a good one.
We'll give you a few minutes.
Or,
Don't worry, we'll wait. No, we're not.
Viewer count went to 0. Just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, because
you can just post it on NerdJab. You don't gotta wait.
yeah,
for it
I
in the
know,
live
I know.
stream.
We don't have to announce it on the show, I guess, but
Well, there's the submissions. Like if they want to see, they can put it on comments on our page.
I think top 5 James Bond would have been great if everybody had seen the movies. But the thing is, asking, I would be like, oh, just watch them. That's like 25 movies,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to expect you guys.
I'm gonna just say the George Lazenby ones.
There's only one.
I know. That's all you need.
That was actually, he was not a bad James Bond. He really wasn't.
Nate,
always
we
thought
can't
he
make a
was
poll if we don't have options.
You can
Yeah.
just put one option and then have like a create your own thing, right?
Yeah. How about
Top
this?
5
So-
Zelda games.
Nah, I
See,
haven't
that's
played
going to
enough.
leave me out
Yeah.
because I don't play them. Okay, so how about this? We'll put this in your hands. We record next Sunday. Obviously, this show's going to come out Thursday because we are releasing this as a podcast. This isn't just a live stream. God, it's going to be so long. That's what she said.
No, it's not.
So you guys tell us what you would like as a top 5, and we'll circle back around next Sunday and look. And
Or homework.
yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah. What do you want to see?
Mine did that too.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So, I think now's probably a good time to wrap it up.
Seems like a natural point. Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's probably the 5th or 6th natural point we've had. This whole show.
Kind of true.
This is
We're
officially
getting the hint.
2.5 hours. This is the longest show we've done. I
Well,
think.
we had 2 minutes or 10-minute break, so
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah,
So I promise next week's will be better because we'll actually be able to plan it. And the thing is, our next live show is going to be June 23rd.
might be just Joe and Spence.
It might be just me and Spence because
might be.
these two slackers.
Well, Justin won't be here for a few episodes.
Yeah.
Do you guys think you could Skype in?
Maybe.
Not while I'm
We'll
driving.
see.
Just
I'll be driving from Wisconsin
put an earbud in.
with 3 kids in the back.
Fair enough.
They could be on the show too.
Yeah, they would be.
We'll
Hey,
we'll
pizza rolls are
discuss-
done.
Yeah,
Peace.
we'll discuss the logistics of that as time goes
Yeah,
on. But
I'm not worried about
June
it.
23rd, our tribute to the 1989 Batman on the 30th anniversary of its release. That will be our next live show. Next week's show is going to be just a regular,
Podcast.
podcast, and hopefully
Spoilers.
Yes,
With
and
in-game
there-
spoilers.
we promise
Finally.
you, we will finally get to go in depth with Endgame. I think it'll give us an opportunity
You
to.
guys want to make bets?
About what?
If we're actually going to be able to talk about it.
I think I've had a good
we will
reason
see.
every time. So but the thing
Ooh.
is, what you guys don't understand is that I actually want to talk about this as much as you guys do. I really do. But the thing is, I also feel like we have a responsibility to the people, to all 10 people who listen to the show. So
We have more than 10 people.
Okay. Well, we don't want to be,
11,
rude
maybe.
to them. So.
75 last
Even
week.
12. What about 13?
Maybe 12 and a half.
14 even?
A midget.
I don't think they're in our
A mid-height one.
Yeah.
All right, now are we talking Vern Troyer or are we talking Peter Dinklage
All right.
Okay.
Or-
He's an angry elf.
or Danny DeVito? Because he's borderline. All right, guys. I think we're going to wrap it up. So again, June 23rd for the next live show. And next week will be just a regular plain old podcast. Thank you to everyone who watched. My Chromebook just died, so that's perfect timing. Thank you, everybody who watched.
See ya.
And everybody who downloads and listens, thank you for your continued support. Visit nerdjab.com for more information on things. And, Cancer Sucks next weekend.
Yep.
Next
Like us,
Saturday.
share us, go to our website. We have all the episodes there. If you don't have a catcher app or get a catcher app, they're all free. So
Yep.
get it. Listen.
Typically, we all introduce ourselves as we go out, but I'm not really going to be able to do that with what I'm about to do. So we're just going to say, this is Nerd Jab for this week. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
See ya.
All right. Bye, everybody.